it looks like we are live. Welcome back, lovely audience. I've decided to go hands-free today and use my other microphone here. I finally got the thing properly charged up beforehand so that we know we're totally okay. And I've got my audio sidechain, effect sidechain, I think dialed in well enough that it shouldn't sound too breathy or too weird. You tell me how this sounds as we go. But in the meantime, I can jump straight into it. It's an exciting day. Look at that fear and greed index. The number today is 60. That's right, up from 53. Apparently we got a false reading yesterday, or we missed it just yesterday. Jumped from 50 to 50, then 53, all the way up to 60, guys. Massive jumps in that sentiment, and we've definitely shifted from neutral all the way up towards greed. We're not quite there. Nope, actually greed. That's how the fear and greed index classifies the current market sentiment is actually at greed. Guys, before we go any further, let me implore you to hit that share button, share this video on Twitter, share it on Reddit, share it on Telegram, share it on Discord, share it wherever it is that you talk to people about cryptocurrency and mining, and let's get that conversation flowing. You're the reason I make this media, and when we're live, guys, really, it's a party. So more is better. Bring more people in. Really, that would be awesome. Definitely appreciate it. Crypto Mikkel, thanks for saying hello in the comment section. He says, much love, fam. Golden Wolf gives the thumb up. Tayward, kind of, we pre-gamed a little bit in the chat there, just kind of messing around. First off, Tayward, what you need to know is that I've got a little bit of wicked sense of humor. So when you ask me like, well, I hope it's worth it, first thing I'm going to tell you is like, well, never is. I'm joking. I think I'm a rather zen person, kind of like living the Tao, so to speak, trying anyway, whatever, which is to say that I'm like not trying or whatever. Really, it's okay. I enjoy doing this, but the more the merrier. We're not such a big channel that I have to like only pick on super chats. We'll get to that point at some point in the future, or we won't. Really don't care either way. I love that we can just chat right now and be really interactive. But fear and greed index is all the way up to 60. Again, as you know, I've said it for weeks now. I view this as a counter indicator. So this is the point at which, for me, I view this with some intrepidation, a little bit of fear. I've really like my pupils are narrowing, but my eyes are getting wide, right? I'm like, oh, really getting nervous, right? Now I'm like scanning the horizon for potential threats from predators. I'm looking out for whales, getting ready to dump bags. I'm like on high alert. When people start to get greedy, that's when I armor up and when I like try to figure out what do I have to do to stay safe right now, because I don't want to get caught up in the mania and get wrecked with everybody else. This is when people totally get wrecked, is when they're not paying attention and their eyeballs are getting too big with dollar signs in them. So again, is this advice, guys? I mean, I'm pretty sure. No, it's not advice. No, it's not advice. You have to make your own choices. As per usual, you're a grown man, grown woman, whoever it is in the audience, you know who you are. You're all grown up, you can make your own choices. But a score of 60, the larger trend, we haven't seen a score of 60 in the fear and greed index since we were running up in the 60Ks in Bitcoin. That's right, it's been a while. We're dipping down rather from the 60Ks. Been quite a while, almost 3 months, not quite, but since earlier May. And we made our portfolio here 26th of May. So with a fear and greed index score of about 22 when we made our portfolio. So when we step into our portfolio later on with all these paper trades, I think that we're going to see that the fear, moving from fear into greed, that there's probably a bit of positive price action that accompanies that. However, I don't think it's double, right? Our portfolio, I don't think will have doubled just yet. It's just that the sentiment has shifted towards greed, even though the price action is not really high yet. You know, we're not riding euphoric heights in Bitcoin where we've crossed 50 or 60K again. I think we'd really have to see that in order for me to, feel less nervous about this, anxious about this. At any rate, that's the sentiment as of today. Let's take a look at TX Street just to check the current state of gas fees and such. Oh, what just happened? I just clicked on something, accidentally opened up Moonheads right there. But there is our average gas fee on Ethereum. There's our average transfer fee on Bitcoin. ETH transfer fee at the median is $1.76 in USD. Gas price in the median is 34 Gwei, so it's not as low. Again, when we go over to, here we go, see CoinGecko, it lies to us. It tells us that the median is 24 right now and that fast is 37. That's not true. TX Street gives us the straight dope, right? Median fee is there towards, there you go, look at that, 48 in the current block, 51, crawling way up with an average of 34. That's what we're looking at, guys, averages. Whoa, that one just jumped right back, 35. So the bids real time we're seeing come in on TX Street, and we're seeing how Ethereum is operating there. Over on Bitcoin, though, the median fee for sending Bitcoin is only 30 cents. And you've heard me say this before. I know that's not as cheap as we've seen Bitcoin in years past, or as cheap as we've seen Ethereum in years past. However, at moments like this, when I see that fees are relatively low, right, lower than they were before. There you go, check it out. 3.46 sats per VByte, and at a US dollar value at about 20 to 30 cents ish, around there. That's when I start thinking about, okay, where do I have Bitcoin that may need to be mixed, right, using Whirlpool or some other CoinJoin implementation. And this is the time to do that. If we wait until it's expensive again, well, it's just that much more expensive to mix that Bitcoin. And I know you're thinking, well, isn't it a fixed cost? Isn't that relative cost gonna drop down as the value of Bitcoin goes up? Well, yes, maybe, but maybe not. Sometimes transfer, like the mempool, gets so clogged up as the price goes up because people are so excited that then you miss your opportunity. You miss the optimal window for you to have enough value in your Bitcoin to not worry about how much it costs. But the sats per VByte, that's a fixed number there, and it's relatively low. Yes, it's been lower. I know it's been lower, but it's relatively low. I don't, in my opinion, think it's a bad idea to consider mixing right now, if you need to be able to move Bitcoin from one wallet over into a deep freeze cold storage wallet and mix it before you do that, so that it's properly stored without a bunch of eyeballs staring at that wallet and thinking I bet you that's Nemesis's wallet, or I'll bet you that, is whoever's wallet. It's like Satoshi Jr.'s wallet over there. Nah, miss me with that. Just mix when it's cheap and when it makes sense for you, right? Not advice for you. You know what your situation is, obviously, and where your price sensitivity is for that. But I like that. Again, in lieu of the news today, I've published a couple of times today. You may have already seen it, and I make no apology, guys, for publishing several videos today. It was a hot news cycle, and some of the stuff really shouldn't wait. I called my senators, I emailed my representative, and I wanted to have my voice be heard, and I really think you should do the same. Right now, legislation that's being pushed through or trying to be sandwiched into the infrastructure bill that's going before Congress, will ultimately go before Congress. We need to make sure that there are no additional overboard tax reporting compliance issues within crypto that basically make it impossible to use cryptocurrencies and turn us as miners into brokers of cryptocurrency. That's insane, right? We'd never be able to operate again as small to mid-sized miners. That would basically mean that miners would have to be licensed, and then they would have to perform KYC on anybody who joins their pools or anybody who buys from them or anybody who they sell to. The entire ecosystem would turn entirely to licensing and to KYC. That's not sustainable. Ravenboy Crypto says, howdy. How you doing? Thanks for saying hello. Thanks for being with us here tonight. But guys, these are our current transfer fees, median transfer fees. A median contract fee is $12.67 on Ethereum right now as well. So if you're using automated market makers or DEXs, this is kind of what you can expect, guys. About 36 Gwei is the median price there. Let's go over to Fiat Leak, see where all the crypto's going in the world. And oh my gosh. Okay, we're actually right now, we're hyper-focused on the United States, which is why all these coins are going in. This is actually the typical or the standard visualization of Fiat Leak. Until you tell it, I just want to focus on Bitcoin or Ethereum, or XRP was up there for a little while, Polygon. Looks like this is just weighted by volume of transactions right there. But it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, top of the list, Polygon not far behind it, but then Cardano and Binance Coin kind of jumping up into that spot as well. It was just funny to see that XRP was there for a minute. Probably a couple of really heavy trades going in there. But it looks like in the United States, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Chainlink, these are typical, the usual suspects, right? Algorand, Polygon, Doge, it's all there. But let's take a look at where the Bitcoin is going around the world. Ravenboy Crypto asks, anybody got any recommendations on exhaust fans to get heat out of my mining room? I do. And I'll leave a link for you it's an Amazon referral link, guys, but I'll send you what I've used and what several members of the mining community, after we all saw Crypto Noof use this in Europe, we were like, oh my gosh, it seems so simple, but it works. So I can send you a link to that in just a minute here, but I'll tell you, it's a radiator fan, automotive radiator fans. Who knew, right? Really low cost, relatively high CFM. And they're designed to be put directly against a radiator grill, so they've got amazing vacuum pressure. They're really good fans. Anyway, so right here, 42. We made it to 42. Yes. Bask in the glow of $42,000 Bitcoin. Well, for as long as it lasts. We don't really know how long it's going to last, right? But here's where it's going. A lot going into USD, right? Pumping money into the Bitcoin machine. Japanese yen going crazy. Brazilian real as per usual. But we're seeing some other different currencies coming into the mix as well. Right here. What do we got here? Oof. Turkish lira. So let's see what else Turkey is buying right now. Looks like the only things being tracked are XRP, ETH, Binance Coin, and Bitcoin, as well as Link from over here. Not really seeing a whole lot, maybe a little bit more volume on Ethereum than Bitcoin. Looks like for Turkish lira, it's almost 3-to-1 Ethereum over Bitcoin going into Turkey. But that was interesting to see that it was doing anything at all in that region. Not used to seeing much funding coming out of Turkey, but there you have it. So there's some money coming out of Brazil, obviously, as we saw before. Korean won, USD, Japanese yen. But let's double check to see where else in the world there may be some buyers of Bitcoin because of this mania. This price at $42,000, as we know, it's crazy, right? People rush to buy the top and then go back to sell the bottom instead of the other way around. Oh, this is so funny. We have a bunch of people rating and saying that Chia is on fire. We'll take a look at that, guys. We'll take a look in the portfolio. I would love for the Chia dev team to be seeing that price actually is getting validated. Oh, do you mean on fire as in like tanking more? Like dipping below the 76% dip that it was at before? Or do you mean that it's returning to a little bit, to recapture a little bit of the value it had before? Because we'll see in our portfolios, guys. Here's the thing. The portfolio won't lie. Those charts won't lie. We bought something on May 26th, like every other coin, and we'll be able to go take a look at that when the time comes. So here we are. Here we are at $42,000 Bitcoin. Again, we're going to see strong correlative action from other countries as well. Clearly, South African Rand dumping into it. Wow. Yeah. No, that's more South African Rand than we've seen in a while going into Bitcoin. But the other usual suspects are just dumping money into the Bitcoin machine as well. We're retracing live right here. Guys, this is crazy. We barely wicked up over 42,000 as we started the live stream. So we'll see where that goes in a minute. But let's go over to Ethereum and see where in the world the ETH goes. Where did the ETH go? Where did the ETH go today? Price is coming back up. Plenty of Turkish lira. Interesting. Yeah. Well, we saw 3-to-1 before as to how much was going into Ether versus Bitcoin over in Turkey. Euro, plenty of euro going into the Ethereum ecosystem as well, and then also plenty of US dollars. All right, guys, I think that's all I'm interested in looking at there. Let's take a look at what to mine, figure out what our numbers are right now. Starting at the very bottom of the list, the R9380, and our cost for power is 14 cents. Volume filter is set at just 1. Not too worried about 5 Bitcoin worth of volume, especially as the price is going up. And we're at 40 cents every single day on Ethereum Classic. Vertcoin is joining the party, just behind Ergo. Ergo at 30 cents, Vertcoin at 27 cents. Ravencoin at 16 cents. Not super great right now. Let's jump into the R9 Fury. First HBM card being used for mining. Relatively decent core. You see right there that ETH4G number at 29 mega hash. That's probably not even optimized. Ravencoin is at over $1 for that card now. That was not the case 24 hours ago, as you guys recall. These are fluid values, right? They tend to fluctuate quite a bit. That's why I love doing this daily segment right now. We can take a look at these numbers far more frequently. And if you guys want, maybe if there's enough interest, we take a look at some of the Chia calculator numbers as well, right? And that's fine. I'll reprise my role as wet blanket over on like trying to jump into Chia. And who knows, maybe something there has changed based on recent price action. But for right now, let's focus on the GPUs. Keep the main thing the main thing. Ethereum Classic is at 64 cents per day. Zano, 62 cents per day. Beam also on the list at 66 cents per day. But I think that, is it the volume that's lower? Is that our issue there? No, it could just be that there's something else in terms of stacked ranking, that it's over 7 days. It's just not, just hasn't been consistent over 7 days. And going from the R9 Fury to the 4 gig Polaris card. 4 gig Polaris card is doing $1.04 on Ravencoin, almost 93 cents on Ethereum Classic, Ergo 82 cents, and Vertcoin again joining the party there on the Polaris cards, 68 cents. We'll see if there's any kind of performance boost from the 8 gig card over on Vertcoin. Really didn't expect to see that at all. Cryptid Youth is saying Link is on fire, but that's no surprise since it has a use. Yep, totally agreed. Link is a very, very strong coin fundamentally, so never a shock to see it performing well. Ethereum is at $1.81, Ravencoin 102, Ethereum Classic 101, which is probably a more accurate number for the 4 gig card as well because of that 3.5 or 3.5 mega hash figure on ETH4G for that card. And then Ergo is also on the list at 87 cents. So it's actually profitable. Vega 56, entry level HBM2 card. Dang, guys, every channel's on fire. I'm getting Twitter messages. I'm getting Telegram messages. People are excited. Everybody is just a little bit everybody's just a little bit feeling crazy. Got another YouTuber asking for us to do a collab on mining, because even the folks who have had their mining rigs turned off for a year or two, they're finally starting to like wake up again, right? Like they're harvesting the crust from their eyes. Like what just happened? Oh my gosh, I missed out on like a year's worth of mining profits. So they all want to get in on the action. Guys, thank you again for hitting that thumbs up button on this video right now. It really does mean a lot. It really does help the algorithm know how to rank this content. And thank you for sharing this video to other people. That helps YouTube know whether or not this is worth promoting in their algorithm as well. It really does make a difference. All right, guys, Vega 56 doing $3.04 every single day on Ethereum, but about $2.75 on Ergo. So slight pull ahead with Ethereum, but Ergo is still very, very rewarding on the Vega 56. I was shocked by seeing that the other day. I'm still kind of shocked by it, but I mean, it looks like a really valid choice there. Your payouts are going to be faster on Ergo. If you're into the unit bias thing right here, estimated rewards over 24 hours, you're getting far closer to a full coin. You're going to have a full coin every 48 hours, which is for some people a very big deal, right? Having one full unit of something over 48 hours. I mean, trading volume is good enough that you can get rid of that coin if you absolutely had to. And who knows, maybe we continue to see some positive price action in Ergo. And if Cardano does ship smart contracts on mainnet, right? Like you've heard me say, like, I don't have my hopes up. But if they do, right? If they do ship smart contracts on mainnet, Ergo goes ballistic, right? It goes through the roof if that happens. If it doesn't, right, whatever. So yeah, no harm, no foul. It's profitable now, and maybe you're just selling as much as you need to right now. Ravencoin is at $1.92, and then Ethereum Classic at $1.75 on the Vega 56. Going to the top of the line HBM2 card, the Radeon 7. Calculate for profit there. Yeah, Tayward says if. Yeah, it is a big, big if, guys. Yeah, talking about if, ands, or buts. Big ifs, big buts. So we do not know what's going to happen with Cardano. We do not know what's going to happen with Ergo. I've told you my opinion on it before. But here's the thing. We've been proven wrong before. We've seen mainnets launch at the correct interval. We've seen developer teams that missed the time window that they said they were going to deliver certain functions succeed anyway. Right? Like people haven't sold all their ADA, they haven't sold all their Cardano, and people haven't sold all their XRP either, and they've appreciated some gains, right? Realized some gains by holding on to even XRP, right? Every coin finds its hodler. We'll say every coin finds its audience and finds its community and its tribe. So never say never, right? Yeah. Encrypted Youth, he says, not financial advice. Yeah, if you're referring to the XRP comment, yeah, definitely not financial advice at all. I'm just saying that, like, even a broken clock is right twice a day. And in crypto, we got a lot of broken clocks. So, yeah, right? Like, somebody out there somewhere became a millionaire off of, like, arbitraging XRP. Hopefully, for their sake, they're out, right? They're totally out. They're just happy with the millions that they made. But the Radeon 7, taking a look at our profitability there, again, with the 1 BTC filter, we're at 616 on Ethereum. 435 on Ergo, so not nearly as high performance. That gap is much farther, but it's much wider on the Radeon 7 versus the Vega 56, and I'm sure the Vega 64 and the Vega Frontier Edition as well. Ethereum Classic at 373, and then Ravencoin at 286. Other coins are there as well, but they're less than half the profitability. I really don't even care to look at that. Let's take a look at a composite between the 5600 XT and the 6800 XT. Also, guys, you're not hearing any background noise, are you? My noise cancellation should be pretty good tonight. Let me know what you hear from the audio that you'd like me to tweak. I may be able to do that real time, just a little bit. I want to make sure it's a comfortable experience for you. I think I've got this thing dialed in pretty well, and it's more comfortable for me to be hands-free. But let me know. Give me feedback. Guys, what are you mining tonight? What are you doing tonight? What are you eating tonight? What are you drinking tonight? What do you have handy? Also, it's Friday night, for crying out loud. I know after tonight's live stream, I'm gonna go, like, I'm drinking like this light lemonade. It's not even like juice or anything, just a light lemonade, so I can go out to a nice little meal with the missus after the live stream tonight. But you tell me what you're doing. So while we go through some of this stuff, we can kind of like swap stories and make plans and such. Anyway, I'm excited, guys. It's Friday night. I'm feeling optimistic. And when the price action goes positive like this across the cryptocurrency market cap, you know, it's a lot easier to feel good. We'll just say, I think a lot of us are feeling pretty good tonight, right? So Crypto Mikkel, hey, he's doing Ethereum and Conceal CCX. Nice. Tayward says, got a 580 with 8 megs Hynix memory card stuck at 40 megahash? Stuck. That, you know, getting a Polaris 580 card stuck at 40 megahash, I think most of us would be okay with you know, burying the needle at 40 megahash on a Polaris card. I think that'd be a problem most of us would like to have. Just saying that. That minivan says, out of subject, but later can we have your opinion on Chia going to the moon? Guys, you've heard me say it for days now. I have no ill will towards the founders of that project, and Bram is brilliant. The guy, again, is a living legend. He absolutely is. Does he deserve success? Of course he does. I feel like the way that the founding went about it, by having a really heavy pre-mine plus really, really heavy VC round, like literally taking over $60 million US dollars and having that in the coffers, having that in the treasury, but also having a massive, massive pre-mine. With other projects that have gone that route, they've been largely panned by the community, right? They're like, well, you're clearly not for us, the little guy, air quotes, at home, right? That's usually a bit of an issue for a lot of people at home, is that we feel like, well, it seems kind of apparent that you're more like commercial blockchain, right? Or like enterprise blockchain, and you're not really thinking about us. That's been a little bit of my concern. And when I talked on the video about like you will fail and all that, I was being sensational. First off, you know that. And I want you to win. That's actually what I want, is that I want you to win. So when you guys have like unlocked like more blocks, when you hit more blocks, I'm excited for you. Let me know, right? Air horns for anybody who's hit new blocks and has more coins. I want to see you win. I want to see you succeed. That's the whole point, right? Like, if I wanted you to fail, right? Like I would, if I wanted that, right? I would just like, whatever, feed you bum statistics and tell you like, you know, definitely you should be trying to arbitrage XRP on the last remaining exchanges that still carry it. You know, whatever. I'd be talking to you about that crap. But I want to see you win. So yeah, with the team also, Bram's a brilliant guy. I think that he really does deserve success. I think that what he, like bare minimum, what he contributed to the world with BitTorrent is such a cool thing that I just want to see that guy taken care of for the rest of his life. He radically altered the internet. A lot of things that we do day to day were totally shifted, totally radically altered by the work that guy did. And he did the majority of it, like, just like super autist, like holed up in a corner in his house with, I think, his newlywed bride. Maybe they were engaged at the time, but yeah, but his lady, like, okay, well, Bram's doing his thing. He's doing his little autism thing over in the corner. He's making some program, whatever, right? Like, and you know, years later, it's this massively used protocol that he monetized a bit, but I don't think that he really knew how to handle that sort of stuff at that time, right? All of us were young ones, right? All of us have been taken advantage of for our labor at least once, and I'm pretty sure that happened to Bram earlier on. So I'd love to see the guy taken care of. But when it comes to blockchain and open source projects like this, there was a little bit of the ethos that for me was kind of like, oh, commercial blockchain. Can sniff it from a mile away. Something's off here. So I did have some misgivings about that. Anyway, guys, I don't mean to like, you know, walk that way back. I've been pretty transparent about that, though, right? I've been pretty consistent about that story. So anyway, jumping out of the way here, taking a look at these 5,000 and 6,000 series cards. Let's go ahead and hit calculate to see what the difference is here. Cannot wait to get feedback from Serpent X Special Forces and from Tech Shinji when they do their tests on the 6600. Guys, if you are not subscribed to both those channels, I'll be sure to leave links in the description of this video for both Tech Shinji and Serpent X Special Forces. You need to be following them. And if you're currently farming Chia, you're probably already following Serpent X Special Forces. And if you're not and you're farming Chia, you should be. Just straight up. You should be, because he's actively creating content for optimizing your Chia mining profits. So yeah, you should be following them. But hopefully we'll get some data from them on that 6600 very, very soon. The average between the two is 678 on Ethereum. Real News 2020 jumping in saying, "Hey, is that boy mineyourbiz? He live this time." That's right. We got a little peace dab. Ugh. Can you do both? No, it's kind of weird. But here's the thing. He did both. It's weird when I do it. So Ravencoin 503, Ethereum Classic 404, Mimble Coin. Not quite there. It's almost at half. I'm going to strike it from the leaderboard. But you see, it's there. It's there. I know there are some Mimble Coin like maxis or whatever. People who are like true believers. I don't want to try to pick winners or, dump on people's coin of choice. Just saying that Mimble Coin for me was kind of like, It's not Grin. Meh. The Deadwood jumping in saying, "Hello all. Hope you're all doing well and making some gains." Yeah, we're making gains. We got a little Chia army in the comment section here telling me like, Seth, Chia to the moon. Come on. Say it so we can turn it into an NFT of you saying Chia to the moon. I'm just kidding. That's not what they're saying. But I'm not saying it either. Oh, wait, I already did. Oh no. They're going to make the NFT. So that's our 5,000 and 6,000 series composite there, guys. Going into Team Green, our value and efficiency play, starting with the 1060, the 1660, the 2060, and we are now moving forward, going to the 3060 Ti, because it kind of matches a little bit more closely what we see on the high end of the RTX 3000 line, where the 3090 represents almost half the hash rate and half the profit. The 3060 Ti kind of more accurately represents that, as you would expect, right? From the latest generation cards, that it would be like so much more performant that it's almost half the current hash rate from the rest of the lineup of 4 cards. So we're going that route right now. So that mini Vanny's repeating it. Oh my gosh, you guys, you're going to spam the comments with this. I'm thinking we should probably start doing nightly giveaways too at some point. With that comment picker, that was a lot of fun. I mean, freaking A, that took me like, seriously, I don't even know how I managed to miss that. I got to start wearing my specs or something. I've actually got a little like ring light on the camera. I'll show you. Here's a little cup. You can see it, right? See the ring light on the camera? That's actually way, way bright. It's brighter than you think. So maybe I like burned a little, like I got a little like retinal burn in or something. You know how your phone screen gets a little burn in? I think I had a little retinal burn in. So I looked over and I'm like, oh, I couldn't see that circle or something. Whatever. I don't know what it was, but I'm still like old man status over here. Like you guys helped me go from like YouTube streamer to boomer in less than 60 seconds. Thanks. So yeah, got all those value and efficiency cards lined up. Let's calculate. Calculating 839 on Ethereum. Firo still on the leaderboard. And I got a comment yesterday on the after the fact, the comments, or after we were live, comments saying like, what about Firo? And I'm like, bro, I totally mentioned it. And it's showing up. Like it's showing up here when we go over to Team Green. Turns up like a bad penny, right? And that's good. That's really, really cool. Love seeing that. But Firo at 650. So it's a pretty significant drop down in that profitability, but there's Firo ahead of Ravencoin. You don't normally see that for NVIDIA cards, right? Not that common, but there it is right before your eyes. Ravencoin doing 621 every single day, and Eternity making it on the list with Cuckoo Cycle at 472. So not nearly as good as Ethereum between those, and about half that, a little more than half that, going to the 3060 Ti. That is killer. That 3060 Ti is fire! Yeah, super, super killer numbers. 3090, 2080 Ti, not the 2080, 1660S, and the 1080 Ti for our high-performance heavy hitters across the 1000, 2000, and 3000 series cards, plus the 1600 series cards, the redheaded stepchild of NVIDIA. 1486. Price is going up each day. Guys, we're going up by, I mean, not quite 50 cents a day, but we're seeing that profitability rise steadily along with the fear and greed, right? And I'm not seeing that there's this massive leap in gas fees. It's pretty crazy. That minivan says, I've been staring at monitors since CRT. I hear you. Sony Trinitron with the overscan greater than HD. Pixel density, yeah, we had it back in the day, guys. You thought you just had HD monitors with LCDs? Nah, boy. You had them back in the day too, if you were doing production. So anyway, so that's our profitability for top of the line. Firo is looking not bad, 1099. It's again a pretty big jump downward. However, it's still ahead of Ravencoin at 1063 and Ethereum Classic at just over $9. Not awesome, but it's there. Bitcoin Gold coming back from the dead. Good grief. When's the last time you guys heard of Bitcoin Gold? I mean, be serious. Be very, very serious. Been thinking about Bitcoin Gold lately? I mean, I kind of was too, right? But seriously, not that much. Anyway, yeah, so the Deadwood says, yeah, the 80-pound CRT days, bro, you wouldn't even believe it. Like, seriously, I was that weirdo that had like 2 or 3 CRTs connected to a computer. I've been that dual monitor guy for forever. It's totally true. Once you start, you just don't go back. Whatever. So, jumping back into the profitability, guys, that's what we got for our GPUs. Let's take a look at our cost to mine 1 Bitcoin, and starting with the Antminer S9. Totally bone stock on the S9, and starting at highest rate per power. Our profitability margin, our little window, has grown with the price of Bitcoin going up. We can now mine all the way up to 18.2 cents per kilowatt hour and still be profitable. But the cost to mine 1 full Bitcoin on the S9 at 14-cent power is still about 32 grand. I'm still uncomfortable with it. I still don't like it. Look, I know we see Bitcoin at $42,000 right now, but we're still seeking support. There's no guarantees here, right? Tomorrow is not promised, and least of all in Bitcoin, right? Like $32,000 here today, maybe not so tomorrow. So I'm a little bit worried about trying to acquire Bitcoin at $32,000. Clearly right now, we're fine. We're doing okay. We're doing just fine. But if you're on very, very expensive power for the S9, you got to get the cheaper power right away. So let's take a look at 8-cent power. I'd call this the commercial rate of most of the lower 48. If you are in some special circumstance out in Hawaii or Alaska, someplace where it's extremely difficult to get power generated on site. I mean, Alaska, not so much because you've got oil, but maybe some other place where it's extremely difficult to get power generated on site, then maybe you're going to struggle to get 8 cent per kilowatt hour. But almost every single one of the lower 48 states, I promise you, if you look hard enough, you can find 8-cent power. It's there. You just have to be creative and find it. 18.3 is still the price at 8-cent power. But if we go co-located, there are professional services that offer this. 5-cent power is possible. It's totally possible. 11.4 is the price for 1 full Bitcoin mined on the S9. I said S9. The S9. Antminer S9 right now. Let's go to the MicroBT M20S, guys. This is our other baseline configuration, 68 terahash at just over 3 kilowatt. It's a very, very good high-performance mining rig. But at that same 5-cent power, if you were co-located, you're getting 1 full Bitcoin at just over 6.5 grand. It's a killer deal, right? We could go all the way back, find bottom support at the basement level of like $10,000. Heaven forbid, right? Knock on wood. If we ever get to $10,000 Bitcoin, for whatever reason, because the bull run has happened and we're like, yay, we're all so happy, and we fall off a cliff because of a massive blow off top, the way we saw in December of 2017. If that happened, I would be very happy to have gotten my Bitcoin at 6.5 grand. How about you? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So I'd want to keep the cheapest possible power there, but go to our industrial rate on that different hardware profile. We're still looking at about $10,500 acquired Bitcoin, right? And I don't mean that you're going to like mine this overnight. I mean that by the time, what? Satco, you old scallywag. We got Mr. Satco cryptocurrency in the heezy. Guys, say hello to Mr. Satco. It's been a while. I was over at his stream just having a blast, feeding him shitcoins to take a look at. Just a lot of fun finding obscure altcoins that nobody's ever heard of. We took a look at, I think, Baby Elon and Police Doge and some others. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, if you haven't subbed to Mr. Satco, he's he's one of the real ones. He's a homie. He's a lot of fun. So anyway, but he's here with the rest of the crew rating the YouTube stream. Thanks for being here, guys. We're just taking a look at the cost to mine one full Bitcoin on certain ASICs. And right now, this MicroBT WhatsMiner M20S, I know it's a mouthful, but just the M20S on 8 cent power, like over the course of running this thing, you're mining one full Bitcoin for about $10,500. So not bad. And you can find 8 cent power in almost any state of the lower 48 if you know where to look and you know how to ask. It's those two things, right? So make friends. Do not ever piss people off who run industrial parks. I'll say that much. And then 14 cent power, so more the average for the residential rate. We're looking at 18.4. Again, do I want Bitcoin at 18.4? Yes, I do. Do I want it at 32 grand? No, I don't. I really, really don't. 18.4, again, for me is kind of the entry level. I'm not comfortable acquiring Bitcoin, mining it this way for greater than 18.4. That makes a whole lot more sense to me. The Deadwood chimes in and says there's a startup company called Harmony Wind Turbines that's making vertical wind turbines. It looks promising. Yeah, so a buddy of mine as well out in Illinois has he's prototyped some of these also. So you create your own and then you can guys, is it too much alpha? Should I tell you? Do you want to know? Should I just keep it to myself? I'll keep it to myself for like 2 seconds. Let me know if you really want to hear about this. But when it comes to renewables, there are ways to kind of like roll your own and hack it. Guys, we are engineers. If we're doing mining or if we're doing any kind of IT, we're actually engineers, right? We're hands-on. We like solving problems. Let me know if you want to hear about that, though. All right. So we got Zotrack saying, sauce. Yes, that's interesting. All right, we'll come back to it, guys. Do me a solid. If you really want to hear, hit that share button. Draw some other people in. Let's keep this stream going at 40 plus viewers. I mean, I know you don't have direct control over that, but you have some control over it, don't you? Anyway, hook a brother up, get us up to like 40 live viewers, and let's talk about that little engineering problem and engineering project that my friend is working on. It's really, really cool. But let's bring that live viewer count up. All right, we're looking at 18.4 thousand US dollars at 14 cent power. That's why I like this hardware profile so much more, guys. It really makes so much more sense to me than going with the older busted S9. Yes, you can run it profitably, but you have to really, really be aggressive with finding that really cheap power. Anyway, that minivan is saying, is Stellar going anywhere? It's a good question. We'll take a look in just a minute. Maybe we can add that to the list if we really, really want to. But before we do that, let's take a look at our mining pool stats, and let's move this up right now. Currently, the total net hash on Bitcoin is 117 exahash, with about 100 of that going to pools. So that means there's 17 rogue exahash either from solo mining or from private pools. Kind of crazy. Ethereum is at 521 terahash, with about 18 of that not accounted for by pools. Maybe solo mining, maybe private pools. Dogecoin, very similar. Oh my gosh, how? How is it possible there's more hash rate on Dogecoin than there is on Litecoin? It's funny, guys, it's a merge mined coin. What is wrong with people? And how is there a greater pool hash rate than there is global net hash on Litecoin? What the heck? I do not understand, guys. I do not understand this at all. Why? Make it make sense. All right, so the Deadwood says the opportunities to separate from the grid and payment is independence. Heck yes. Heck yes. That's independence, guys. Being off the grid and not having to answer to the man for when you want to use power to mine. That's awesome. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Yikes. Yikes, yikes. But I think those are some of our top coins to mine there. Monero is on the list as well, 2.5 gigahash, but we are talking about RandomX, so it is much more difficult to achieve that. With network difficulty, we'll take a look at that another time, guys. Top 15, though, still features Pirate Chain and some other notables like Bitcoin or Zcash, Zilliqa, which I'm sure is being merge mined significantly with Ethereum to be able to achieve its pooled hash rate, at least. Maybe the solo mining is not accounted for with that merge mining on Ethereum on pools like Ezil or Ezilme. So, yeah, not sure what's going on there. But then Decred also pretty high in the hash rate in the upper petahashes there. And Bitcoin SV, good grief. The pooled hash rate is just over a dozen petahash. It's not even at half an exahash. Even Bitcoin Cash is looking like twice as good as Bitcoin SV. I sincerely hope that we see, with the price action and then with some of the recent issues with Bitcoin SV, some major announcements from them. I don't wish anyone ill, but I would love to see them just pivot and maybe just stop pretending with the whole, like, we wrote the white paper thing, we've got Satoshi thing. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be nice? I think it would be. Anyway, that's where all of our hash rate is coming from. That's where all of it is going to. Let's take a look at our portfolios. And while we do in GPUs, let's see, guys, we've got a few extra live viewers. Thank you so much for pumping that up. Let me check our comments really fast, get caught up on those, and then let's see if we can pump that up to about 40 live viewers. Guys, can we do it? Can we do it? Mr. Satko saying, gotta go, but I'm leaving this straight up running for review. What? That's awesome. Thank you. That's super cool. So, guys, he's doing the set it and forget it routine where he's got either his laptop or his phone or something tuned in, and he's going to go, like, grab a burger or, you know, like, take out the weed whacker. I think maybe he's, like, what is it, carving out the topiary, or he's doing some ice sculptures or something. Whatever it is that Mr. Satko has to do at this moment. We're still alive. We're still running on his phone. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So Zotrak is saying, I buy LTC with my Mind Doge. That's rad. That makes a lot of sense, too, actually, right now, because the profits are so much higher on Dogecoin. You're getting both. Makes sense to me. All right, jumping back through our comments section. Nope, saw Harmony. And hey, Gallo says, sup, people? Un gran abrazo. Thank you so much. Thank you. And de vuelta, un gran abrazo. Thank you. So let's see. On our GPU mining portfolio, our total for the last 24 hours, we're up $543, but it's an extensive portfolio, right? We've got many, many assets in this portfolio, all at $1,000, acquired on May 26th of this year, right? That's when we put this in. So that's not all that impressive, but our percentage up is 3.76%. Over the last, however long we've had it going, our total PNL is negative 25. So we're not as bad as we were before. That's nice. Looking at Bitcoin, wrapped Bitcoin, specifically WBTC and RenBTC, we are over the $1,000 mark. We're over the $1,100 mark, which means we're significantly up from before, over 10% up from when we first put these in the portfolio. Woo, feels good. Feels good, man. Ethereum back over our acquisition price as well. Only 3% up, but not in the red anymore. Matic, Aave, Interest Berry, wrapped Ethereum. Not back at price parity yet, because it should be around the same price of Ethereum, but it's not yet, which is kind of sad, right? You figure it should have been bearing interest during this time, but that only really helps us if the native asset value is, or if the coin value is remains pegged to the native asset, if that makes sense. And we're behind a little bit. See that almost 5% slippage between these two, or 5% difference between these two. Kind of a bummer. Golden Wolf is having to head out, and he's throwing us to stay savage. Horns, guys, go ahead and throw them up. Throw them up for savage. We'll see you later, Golden Wolf. Thank you for being here. All right, guys, we've got Ravencoin also relatively high on the list. Gosh. There's so much that's just middle of the pack, guys. Somebody asked me about Firo, and Firo was okay, but it's still almost 30% down from when we acquired it. Yes, this last week has been exciting, but not enough to pull it back up, even close to its all-time high, let alone, or like back to when we acquired it, let alone its all-time highs. So kind of a bummer there. Etho, or Ether1, I guess they totally rebranded to Etho Protocol, is still relatively low, about 30% down. That minivan is asking, what's wrapped Bitcoin, man? That's a great question. Let me kind of slow this down a little bit. Sometimes I kind of gloss over this stuff really fast. Wrapped Bitcoin, I have two types of it here. Wrapped Bitcoin is a token on Ethereum that is a representation of Bitcoin. The value of wrapped Bitcoin goes up and down according to exactly what Bitcoin is valued at. So right now, see these numbers are approximately close to it. Almost at $42,000 right there. Or WBTC. It's very similar to Bitcoin's price, but it's an Ethereum token. So you can send it from your MetaMask wallet. You can provide liquidity with it over on like SushiSwap or Uniswap, and you can get more rewards. And it's pretty cool. It does some things in that permissionless DeFi system that Bitcoin isn't really very good at doing yet. Maybe it will be in the future, and maybe as Thorchain becomes more stable, maybe it's going to be just fine to have Bitcoin over there doing some of these things. But for right now, wrapped Bitcoin lets you use Bitcoin in DeFi. And because we're GPU mining with Ethereum, we suppose, we can quickly trade for this wrapped Bitcoin easily and permissionlessly. Hope that helps answer your question. RenBTC is a less centralized version of wrapped Bitcoin. It's a form of wrapped Bitcoin, but instead of being called wrapped Bitcoin with the ticker symbol WBTC, it's just RenBTC. Its smart contract is less centralized and gives them less control over your coins, though. That's one thing about smart contract platforms, whether it is Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain or Matic or Energy Network or the upcoming Pulse Chain and other networks that use the Solidity smart contracts of Ethereum, is that some of them, when they issue a token, it gives them privileges to reach into your wallet and burn coins. Yikes, right? To any wallet or to every wallet. They could just say, oops, we made a mistake, or oops, like the IRS or somebody like knocked on our door, or angry people from a 3-letter agency knocked on our door with guns and told us we have to eliminate all these coins. We can do that because we control the smart contract. So we control all the issuance of the coin. RenBTC is a little less centralized in that way, a little fewer permissions to deal with. All right, I hope that helps there, guys, as an overview. That's why I'm excited and I'm bullish on wrapped Bitcoin in Ethereum. If you've got GPUs, rather than take a hit, I mean, sure, you can throw it on an exchange, you can get native Bitcoin, and that's really an awesome thing. It's a very important thing to have. Everybody needs to be holding Bitcoin. I'll repeat that again. Everybody needs to hold some Bitcoin. But when it comes to Ethereum and being able to work in the Ethereum ecosystem or the smart contracts and DeFi ecosystem, it's helpful to have wrapped Bitcoin. So you have all those values running on the rails of Ethereum. All right, bottom of the list is still Haven, but it's still coming up. It's almost up to that $4 mark. It is making its way up, but it may well be from the current market pump and not from any recovery natively within that coin. Kind of a bummer to see. Hopefully we see it recover even more soon. I still maintain that it's undervalued, but I think the developer team has extra work to do too. So those things can both be true. It might still be a good opportunity, but you do your own research. You decide whether or not it's a risk you want to take. Obviously, never invest more than you are willing to lose, and do not take some dude talking on YouTube as like financial advice. Seriously. You know CPAs, you know tax preparation people, you know certified financial advisors. Go talk to those people. Don't take your advice from some dude on YouTube. So Gallo says, I mostly own Ether. How do gas fees work in the Bitcoin network? Hey, that's a great question. So transfer fees on Bitcoin are very similar in that miners have to structure all the transactions in a block, but the fee system is not quite as cutthroat, we'll say, or as generous as the fee system in Ethereum. I'll just keep it at that. That's about as simplified as I can make it, and that's my understanding of it. That's how I can speak to it. The gas fee marketplace that exists on Ethereum is not nearly the same on Bitcoin. But when the mempool fills up, when there are a lot of transactions, jump back over to TX Street, take a look at that. When the mempool fills up, see right there, there's less than 1,000 transactions in Bitcoin. If it were to like jump way, way high, let me get it away. If it were to jump way, way high up to thousands of transactions that are backed up on Bitcoin, then we'd see that fee going up, and we'd see the cost to send the number of Satoshis per V-byte of data that's being sent on the network. That's the number we'd look at almost like gas, if that makes sense. So the same way that we look at Gwei over here, we can kind of consider the fee of Satoshis per byte, sats per V byte. That's kind of a similar metric, if that makes sense. Yeah, Cryptid You says, you killed Kenny! It's true. You gotta love the way they have this all drawn out, too. It's just awesome to look at. Oh, hey! Look! There's a little ledger right there. What's the ledger? What am I missing? Oh, man, it's an ad. Gosh darn it, they got me. That was so cool looking, too. Wasn't that cool? I mean, whatever. They earned that click that time. But they're not getting another one. They got me, though. That was so funny. Anyway, so jumping back into our portfolio. Guys, thanks for the questions. See, these are such great questions. And I hope that I'm answering them to a way, like in a way that helps you understand a little bit better. Let me know, am I doing well? Like, thumbs ups are appreciated, right? Feedback in the comment section is appreciated. But keep asking great questions too. And obviously, if you have answers, help answer the questions too in the comment section. This is a community thing, right? We help lift each other up and we all do better together. Plus, it's a really small corner of crypto YouTube. So it's not like all the jerks are here, right? It's just the cool kids. So thanks for being here. Appreciate that. All right, looking at our portfolio, moving from GPU mineable coins all the way over to hard drive mineable coins. Real News 2020 says a guy named Satoshi created all this. He's the mastermind of it, the brain and the balls. That's right. Cryptid Youth says it's a fam. Yep. This is the tribe, guys. We help each other out. Hard drive mineable coins. Made Safe is still our hero. Top 3 on the leaderboard are Made Safe Storage and Signum. Made Safe pulling up to almost 93% above what we put it in. Chia is, hey, it's above $200. That's great. But it's still below $300, and it did sharply rise up. That's parabolic. That is an absolutely parabolic run-up right there. And there's more to the news than that. This appears to be over the 7-day that it's gone 52%, but the last 24 hours are when it's most exciting, right? See that 34% run up? And we can see it right there, that giant wall right there. Guys, this does merit a closer look. We will take a closer look at that because I want to know what's going on there. However, since we added this into our portfolio, we're still down by 65%, almost 66%. It's a significant drop down, right? We're still down in the dumps, frankly. We haven't come up all that much, guys. Not really. People were thinking that it would absolutely find bottom support at $600. It did not. It did not. It still has a lot of ground to make up here. So unless there's some news that I'm just missing here, then there's a little bit of an issue there. Dorian asks, what do you think will be the next GPU mining coin? That's a really great question. So you mean like to replace Ethereum? Well, tell you what, I'm going to keep going over some of our portfolio just a little bit, and I'm going to ask our live commenters to respond to what they think will be the next coin. Do you think it's going to be Ethereum Classic? Do you think it's going to be Raven Coin? Do you think it's going to be Firo, which has a really strong use case, like a novel zero-knowledge proof scheme for privacy, plus a UTXO-based system instead of account-based systems, so that it has more auditability, a lot like Bitcoin? What do you think, guys? Will it be Zano, something that's a fork of crypto notes like Bitcoin and like Monero? Tell me in the comment section. Tell Dorian what you think. Love to see your feedback. Love to see everybody's takes. He also goes on to ask, what do you think will be the... Oh, nope. He repeated it. Next GPU mining coin. So Cryptid Youth is coming in with his opinion. Let's hear more, guys. Let's see more. Tell him what you think. All right, Chia Coin is still at the bottom of the list. Filecoin is second to last. And it's not even close. It's not even close. It's still, I mean, it's a 35% delta right there. See that? It's not even close. So there's a lot of ground for Chia to make up to like based on all the money that it lost us from the portfolio. See that? From $1,000 subtract 659, there's still a lot of ground to make up. And this was at the same time that every other coin was dipping. This was not a thing that was unique to Chia. This was just the fully, like the whole market cap was dipping. So yeah, we'll see what happens here, guys. I'm not convinced that that there's a massive trajectory to the moon, but we do need to take a look at the chart because that run up, interesting. I think it's already coming back down. We might be seeing either a top or a double top forming at the top there. Zotrak, he even knows him. He says Ruben and Poramin are doing a great job there. I agree. Poramin Insan is he's a name that everybody in crypto should know, but almost nobody does. I mean, he's no Satoshi. He wouldn't claim to be Satoshi or whatever, but he's a person who's like sort of like blessed so many little projects in crypto, and nobody ever knows his name. It's kind of tragic, really. Anyway, that's our hard drive mining portfolio. Going into our CPU mineable coins. Let me grab some lemonade here, guys. And yes, it's just lemon and water. Don't make it weird. I actually kind of need that just to kind of keep the voice feeling good. Yep, and Zotrak also says, yeah, those two guys, they're non-tribalistic guys, they're pro-crypto. Yep, Ruben, who is the steward of the Firo project, is absolutely, he's absolutely supportive, like fiercely supportive of the Monero guys. They give each other they give each other grief or whatever, right, across like forums and things, but he contributes Monero Labs, they get feedback from the Firo guys, and they're good guys. They're the good actors. I don't know what else to say. Like they've put out a lot of goodwill. Hopefully good things come back to them. 24-hour change, we're up 1% in this portfolio, but we're overall down 17% in the CPU mineable portfolio. Wownero is coming up. Yeah, look at that trend up, but it's still down by 48%. But it is on its way up. Hopefully that's correlated to Doge in some way because it's a meme coin. Varus is still finding some support. Weird double top there, a little couple Bart Simpsons next to each other right there in a weird double top on a downward channel that we've still been seeing for a while. But hopefully that bottom support right there continues to arc up with everything else. Still looks less manipulated than before. Somebody mentioned they thought it was a staking attack. That seems to track. But whoever was doing whatever it was they were doing, they were messing with my brain, yo. You should not treat coins that you like or coins that you care about in that way. Monero on its way up, $241, which is a strong price for Monero, all things considered. It did dip back down, and it looks like it's strongly correlated, I think, to Bitcoin's chart there. Raptorium just doing Raptorium things, still up for the week and still the hero of this portfolio at over $1,000. It's doing awesome. Yeah, Cryptid Youth says, Bart Simpson, love the TA. Hey, that's the official name of that formation. There isn't really a name for a formation that looks like a really, really high frequency head and shoulders that's above on like a little shelf and then comes back down. And it looks like Bart Simpson's flat top, doesn't it? So that's the Bart Simpson formation. You got to grab Bart Simpson's flat top with some chopsticks later on. But anyway, moving from CPU mineable coins over to our ASIC mineable coins. And Decred, top of the list, it displaced Bitcoin yet again, outperforming it just a little bit at over $1,100. That doesn't seem quite right. Maybe we've seen some price action move a little bit differently. Maybe it was a time of day thing when I picked up this side of the portfolio. Guys, even just hours can make a difference. Even though I put all these coins into the portfolio on May 26th, I manually put them all in at that time. It could be that the wrapped Bitcoin, because I started with the GPU mining portfolio, the GPU side, it could be that the wrapped Bitcoin was just priced lower already, so we just see slightly different values now later. But Bitcoin second place, Pirate Chain third, doing very, very well with a strong uptrend and kind of following a bit of the pattern of the other large cap coins as well. Dash in a strong fourth place, right? It's been doing a weird sawtooth pattern, right? Much bigger tops there on the way up. So that's interesting to see, but again, I'm impressed with what Dash has been doing lately. Not the coin itself. Let's be very, very clear. The code base and the coin itself, it's not super impressive. It doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't really offer all that much over, say, like Litecoin. It really doesn't. I don't see much to like about Dash over Litecoin. But they've really pushed hard to get business relationships out there, and the masternode thing, they were the first to ever do that. So there are people who are passively earning from masternodes on Dash that aren't passively earning on Litecoin. Good or bad, right? Good, bad, indifferent, whatever. Hey, we got Eric Anderson in the house. What's up, man? He says, howdy. Says the praise hands. It's good to see you, man. Thanks for being here with us. And the Deadwood, he's urging KCS on. He says, let's get back to 10.50 tonight. You can do it. He's rolling the dice right now. Boom. But lower on this portfolio is Horizon. Guys, it's still trailing in last, but it's only at 41% down, which again is crazy for me to say it. All things considered, is not our worst loser, right, across all the other portfolios. Dogecoin is pretty close to it, though. It's still below the price of Wownero, though. We did see Wownero pull ahead of Dogecoin, and for me, I'm kind of happy to see that. I know there have been some people in the audience who live comments recently who've said, like, hey, let's take a look at Shiba. And I'm like, let's not, please, and say we did. I don't know where Shiba is going to be a year from now. I don't know if it's still going to be an active project on Ethereum. But then again, I mean, look at Dogecoin, right? Never say never. Dogecoin here, $27 billion later. And you can't kill it, no matter how hard you try, and no matter how few nodes they have, full nodes they have running at their all-time low there. But there you have it, guys. I mean, unreal, right? So many more times the market cap than Zcash. You know, Zuko Wilcox, the founder of Zcash, was like, he cried himself to sleep the night that Dogecoin surpassed them. You know he did. He had to, right? Like, wouldn't you? That'd be crazy. That minivan is asking, I might have missed what you said was making Nespresso. Why is Chia doing good right now? You know what? We'll have to take a look at that real quick. And also we got Gallo asking a question about, saw some of a text tweet about getting off centralized exchanges earlier today. Thoughts? So some of you may not be familiar with my thoughts and opinions on the matter, but I've been saying that for well over a year. Centralized exchanges, by definition, they are there to centralize power. They're there to take your cryptocurrency and assign it to fewer keys. When they're hacked, it's more devastating, right? The Quadriga CX exchange in Canada got hacked for, what was it, $190 million when the founder apparently died. And I think it's still not conclusive whether or not that guy actually died or faked his death. I think the jury's still out there. But I mean, it was tens of millions of dollars in value. If that were just one person's holdings, or I should say hundreds, if it were one person's holdings, maybe he only had, 10 or $20 million worth of Bitcoin, which to us seems like a non-trivial amount, right? But there's so many others. Yeah, Zotrak is rattling off some more, right? Cryptopia, Altilli, Mt. Gox, obviously, so many others as well, where they've been hacked, and because they're centralized, they hold everybody else's coins. You should never leave your coins in bulk on a centralized exchange. Now, what Son of the Tech is talking about as far as getting off them at all, I agree with that too. I don't leave even small amounts for trading on most exchanges. There's maybe a small amount I'll leave on one or two, but that's only, even at that, it's kind of when I'm more in a mode of trading more frequently. The rest of the time, I try to keep it off. And at that, try to keep it on like hardware wallets or something extra secure. So yeah, I'm with him. That's just best practice. That's not something that he just like came up with, didn't pull it out of a hat. He knows it too. You got to stay safe. Gallo says KuCoin is cool. No KYC. I mean, I'm not going to name names, but I am going to say that if there's definitely no KYC, a little better to do. That minivan is asking, is Trust Wallet app safe? Well, yes, as I understand it, it's generally regarded as safe. The Trust Wallet app. For me, I feel a little bit weird to use it as a counter indicator when somebody tells me that their app is called Trust, has the name Trust in it. It's like, dude, you're trying too hard. It's like when somebody says, trust me. Trust me. Like, what do you think initially? It's like, trust you now as opposed to before? Were you lying before? Like, or when they say, I'm just going to be honest. Okay. Like, did you really have to say that? I'm just going to be honest. Are you lying the rest of the time? What do you mean I'm going to be honest now? Or like, what do you mean trust me? So when somebody calls their product Trust Wallet, my first thought is like, oh, I probably can't trust you. However, I know I'm being a little silly, a little pedantic there. They're probably fine. They're probably just fine. It's also owned by Binance. And so I'm always feeling a little bit weird about that. Like, oh, crap, what if they backdoored the thing, right? What if Binance is just spying on us on behalf of the CCP or whatever? I don't know. I mean, it's far-fetched. But for me, MetaMask works for any of the ERC20 coins and any of the other networks that you can manually add. It's very easy to work with. And then for some of the other coins like Bitcoin, love Samurai Wallet. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like Samurai Wallet out there. And then for Monero, I really like Moneruko. Some people really like Cake Wallet or whatever, but those are just the mobile options. There's so many other wallets you can use. And then again, for the majority of holding, a hardware wallet. And then whatever software wallet you have to use for that hardware wallet. But that's just my take on it. Not advice, guys. You do your own research there. I'll continue to do more more reviews and stuff. I've got several. Like I've got a little hardware wallet graveyard here, right? Here's the SecuX, the V20, and I have not powered it on since I did the review because I found it that weird to work with, right? It's this giant dodecagon, right? 12-sided thing with aircraft grade aluminum on the side and sort of like looking like aircraft grade aluminum. What do you use this for, right? What do you use this for? In my video, I literally put it down and I put a mug on it like it's a coaster. And the team was like, oh, okay, we get it. It's not your favorite thing. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. It's so not my favorite thing that I literally use it to hold my green tea in the morning. Yeah, right. Hockey puck, maybe. Could just like throw a little rubber gasket around the edge. I mean, you could only last one or two shots before you fully break out all the glass. But around the edges, structurally, it'd probably hold up. Anyway, I'm being a bit inflammatory there, guys. It was very cool of them to send it to me, and it does do a couple things really well. But as far as the flexibility of being able to use all these other networks, it's just not there. Very few of these other wallets. All right, here's another one. The EliPal, right? And this one's Also, it's basically a low-power ARM device running a very stripped-down version of Android, custom version of Android. I even left the little screen protector on because I knew I wasn't going to use the thing. But this little guy, like, you know, touch-driven screen, it's got a camera on it so you can scan QR codes. But then you have to run a third-party app on your phone anyway to get it to run. And I'm like, ugh, guys, why is all this stuff so painful? The other hardware wallets, they do what you need them to do, and it's like, why? How did you manage to make something that's already been done? It's already, like, where people have already succeeded. How did you manage to screw it up? How did you manage to make it less user-friendly? I don't get it, man. I really don't. Anyway, so hardware wallets are interesting that way. The Deadwood is asking, has anyone managed to get Raven onto Trezor Model T yet? I'm so tired of maintaining the wallet. P.S. You can keep your block data rather than re-downloading the entire chain. Helps save data sync time. You know what's interesting? Let's take a look at this another time, guys. I'll start doing more wallet reviews. I'll be putting them against each other. I've got Trezor, I've got Ledger, I've got these two, I've got others. Do I have any others here? Those are the four that I'd be willing to do a review on. The one that I really want is a cold card. I definitely want a cold card. I haven't like ordered it or anything. The other ones were, you know, for testing and evaluation, because for me, like, I'm not trusting my day-to-day data on this. I didn't pay for this. I wouldn't pay for this. Just throwing it out there. It never called to me like, wow, that's the best wallet. I should definitely spend more money on that than I would on 3 Ledger Nano S's. Yeah, no, I'll buy 3 Nano Ledger S's. One for my wife, one for my oldest kid, and another one for me as a backup, right? That mean even asking what's a cold card. There are so many wallets, right? Hardware wallets in the space, and cold card is one that is unique to Bitcoin. But oh man, it is like the hacker's Cadillac of crypto wallets, right? Of hardware wallets. I'll put it that way. So it just gives you so much low-level control. It gives you the ability to generate additional keys, the ability to generate sub-keys in something called a BIP85 address. It is next level. It's just primo. If for the person who's like very interested in increasing their Bitcoin holdings and keeping them very safe, there is nothing like the cold card at all. Not at all. Just super impressed by it. Anyway, here's our FPGA portfolio, guys. Quickly go over some of these coins. Nimic is at the top of the list, but that's not saying much, down by 33%. The entire portfolio is up by 6% over the last 24 hours, but overall down by 43%. Biggest loser, 0x Bitcoin. Bummer. Down 24 hours, last 7 days down as well. Cadena not doing so hot over the last 7 days, last 24 hours a little better. Man, our biggest winner over the last hour and 24 hours is Telor, right? I don't think Telor was in our second place last time, but even still, that only brings it up to just below $600. Yeah, guys, let me pull up the site real fast because we're chatting about it. So I'll open that up. Cold card by CoinKite. You should be able to see it right here. I'm just navigating there live. Here's the CoinKite website. And they don't have any kind of like an affiliate program or whatever. Like, I can't possibly earn anything by showing this to you. It's just that good that I can't deny how good they are. Right? They're really good at what they do. The seed plate, I could take it or leave it, really, only because I'm handy enough with manufacturing that I can do a combination laser cut and then electro engraving, for if I really want something that's like, you know, where I don't have to sit there with a chisel and like a punch set, like, ooh, one at a time. I can do it a different way. But their seed plate for me is like, don't really care. Could take it or leave it. And the cold power as well, like, yeah, you can find other products that do that. The block clock is interesting. You can do Raspberry Pi Zero projects that are similar if you really want to. But again, if you're into that sort of thing, it's fun. It's a fun desk thing, right? It's worth it. But this guy, the cold card and the open dime, these two in particular, there's nothing quite like them. The open dime, the open dime. And again, hey, at CoinKite, if you guys are watching, I would absolutely love to do live demonstrations and how-tos on this. I would absolutely burn through a couple of open dimes to do giveaways for you. If you're watching, just to do tutorials, right? Like, hey, it's Mr. Radio Voice, and I'm offering to do it. Like, please, hit me up. Like, whatever. Cold card, also, just amazing. But open dime, it allows you to just one way generate a payment address and then send Bitcoin to it And then the private keys are not accessible until you see that little slidey thing right there, little plastic overlay, until that's slipped off of it. And then either like a push pin or like a safety pin or something is punched through a physical barrier, a physical element. And then when that happens, it unlocks the software, right? It opens up a little circuit gate inside of it. So that way, when you plug it in, the person who's done that plugs it in, then the private keys are available for spending. It is so cool. It turns denominations of Bitcoin that you put on it like into cash. And when you hand it to somebody, like it's off the network. They just take that. And once they've done what I said before, they pop that little thing out, then they can access the private keys and they can spend it however they want. It is amazing. Really great thing if the tech lasts. Now, if you water damage it, if you crush it, if you drop it like from your pocket somewhere, you're in the middle of nowhere, if you're at Knott's Berry Farm, right, or Disneyland or something, and it falls out of your pocket because you had it with you like a dummy, you're out of luck, right? It's a bearer asset, right? They're like bearer bonds and all those like 1980s bad like drug movies, Steven Seagal movies and stuff, right, in the 90s too. It's one of those types of things where like if it's out of your hands, that's it, you're toast. But for what it's good for, it's amazing at, right? Like here you go. You don't have to trust me because it's already got a public QR code. It's already got a public payment address too. So that you can hand it to somebody and they can verify that on the spot. Zero trust. They can just take a look because it's a view only wallet, right? They can see like, oh yeah, there's this much Bitcoin in that address and that's on this. Done. Zero trust needed. It's so cool. Anyway, yeah. Let me just grab this link here, guys. Again, I don't earn anything by showing you there. CoinKite, right there. It's just coinkite.com. But that's in the live chat right now. And then the cold card, I'm just a huge fan of, guys. I cannot speak highly of it enough. Just because it's got a secure element. It's got a little secure backup of a micro SD card right here. It never touches the internet. As long as you power it on in a way that doesn't even connect it like the USB power, just power it directly to some like dumb battery source and you know it's definitely not connected to anything, but it's got this little keypad on it as well, so you can manipulate the inputs there. As you're generating a new seed phrase on this device, it's one of the few that will let you like roll dice, and from rolling dice, add more entropy, more randomness to the seed phrase, more randomness to your keys that it generates. But it'll walk you through it. It's like, okay, do you want to use dice? Cool. Use dice. Roll it. What'd you get? Roll it. Tell me, what'd you get? Roll it. What'd you get this time? Boom. And just walk through. Keep on rolling dice a bunch of times, and it will take all those inputs and give it all of the randomness that's generated there, like billions of figures of randomness across so many dice rolls, and then it'll make that. So Justin Peacock asks, Cold Card by CoinKite? By CoinKite. Oh, it's funny, actually. It's a totally separate site here. But this is Cold Card Wallet. Let me drop this into live chat as well. But coldcardwallet.com is where they sell that. But yeah, guys, there's no like affiliate incentive here. There's like, it's just really, really cool. Anyway, the Deadwood is saying, great info. Seed plate is a great idea for putting them into permanent form. Guys, let me show you something else though that's really great for that. I mentioned it before, but if you don't have manufacturing stuff around, you can also just grab one of these guys, right? Like little punch kit. See right there? It's got a little like letters and numbers. So you can get one of these on Amazon. I think I've got a little like Amazon list for that too. And you got all of your letters and numbers right there. And you can punch that into a piece of flat bar you can pick up from the hardware store for like $15, right? So chop a piece of flat bar. And if you go to the hardware store and just tell them, I want that much cut off, guess what? They'll do that. Or if you just tell them, I want whatever, 10 plates that size cut off out of 1/8-inch steel flat bar, they'll do it for you before you ring up. Most of the time at any kind of like Lowe's or Home Depot or anything like that, they've got their saws in place. They'll totally do that for you. Telward says stainless fender washers. No, I disagree. I disagree with stainless fender washers, and here's why. When you go with stainless fender washers, if you had any kind of a problem with like either acid buildup or humidity on the main nut and bolt that retains those fender washers, it's rusted shut. So unless you know for sure that you have anti-seize on all of that, and it's like gooey wet anti-seize, then you run the risk of either in a fire or again in a flood or in some kind of like an adverse pH condition because you've had some kind of like a chemical spill on it, or it's fallen into something, or it's just been exposed to something it wasn't supposed to be exposed to, that nut can seize up, and your fender washers are shut tight, right? They're rusted shut. So you do want an open, flat piece of something. And we'll talk about this more in another live stream, or maybe I'll just like a dedicated series of videos on this or something, guys. I don't want to like take too much of tonight just for this. But just to say, there are a number of ways you can back up your seed phrase. The only wrong way to back up your seed phrase is to not do it, right? Even pencil and paper is better than nothing, right? So start there, obviously. Justin Peacock says, loved you on ABC too, bro. Hey, thank you. Really appreciate that. That minivan says, I'm a total noob, but isn't the seed phrase exposed and someone can steal the wallet? Well, yeah, I mean, that could be true. So taking a look at, just jumping back, taking a look at something like this, yeah, that if you left it open, that would be true. The way that they have theirs made and the way that many others are made is that when it's in a full kit, usually they have, oh, you know what? Their seed plate does not have any kind of a sleeve for you to put it in. But you can always just say, for example, all the pictures you see here. You could take this little seed plate. You could put cardboard on both sides. You could put like plastic wrap on it or something like electrical tape and wrap the thing up so that it's more protected. It would be gooey when you pull it off, but your markings would stay legible after you pull that off. You don't have to leave it exposed, right? So you can do that. You can cover the thing in Plasta Dip, right? Like that sort of like that tool dip you get from the hardware store. Like that way it's waterproof, right? It's got a waterproof membrane coating all around it. You can grab some the rubber coat, right? Your spray membrane coat that you get, like rubberized spray in the hardware section or in the paint section. So not your typical Krylon or whatever, but something that is like intended to be a water membrane layer that you spray on stuff for waterproofing and stuff. You can use that, spray it right on top of something like this or some other kind of a seed plate that you make. There's so many ways to do it so that it's not easy to expose. And then after you've done that, you put it in some hidey hole somewhere, right? It's not like you don't put it in a safety deposit box, because safety deposit box, what happens when they get robbed? Do they admit to you that it was robbed? No, because it's liability. And do you when it does happen, and it has happened, right? When safety deposit boxes get broken into at banks, it's a really bad thing. So you want to know for sure that you put it someplace that's really, really safe. Don't want to go too far down that tangent on tonight's episode. But yeah, you want to eventually replace. Hey, Mark Allen is here. Dude, Mark, you won last night. Oh my gosh, you weren't here for the live stream last night. You won. You were the guy whose comment was drawn. So we gotta make sure that we get info for you, because the topper like that with the hardware to make your own Raspberry Pi full node case, or Raspberry Pi case right here. I'm going to be sending you the topper and the hardware for you to screw into any kind of a 2.5-inch drive. So we got to make sure we get the right shipping address for you. Don't obviously post that here in the open in clear text, but I guess I want you to check out my my channel contact email, and then please send me an email, Mark, if you don't mind. That's probably the best way to do that. But yeah, you won. Congrats again. So got the minivan, that minivan saying, so the point is just so this replaces paper notes like I do. Yeah, you want to replace paper notes with this, so that way, and then have it in some place that is like someplace that is secure, but that your family could find if anything were to happen to you, like very suddenly. You want to make sure that it's something that is actually useful to whoever survives you, right? In the event of sudden loss or death, right? Or loss of consciousness, or loss of ability, motor function, or whatever. So I know it sounds really gruesome, guys, but that's the point, right? Like if you have hundreds of dollars of crypto today, that could be thousands by this time a couple of years from now. And if you have thousands or tens of thousands, for all you know, based on the way that certain cryptos run up, that could be hundreds of thousands or millions before you know it in a few years' time. So to have that slip out of the grasp of your family or whoever you have named in your trust or your will, just because you didn't know how to tell them when it would be appropriate to find this thing, or where to find it, or what to do with it, you can think through that problem. I'm pretty sure you can, guys, but you got to spend some time noodling on that problem. But the first part of that problem is making sure that this thing is actually durable enough that it can't get melted in a house fire. It can't get rusted out beyond recognition in a flood, a house flood, right? Like just like whatever. Alex A is asking, do you actually mine with the Raspberry Pi? That's a great question. So for me, no, I don't. I don't mine with Raspberry Pi. This is designed to be a full node. So this runs all of the Bitcoin blockchain, and it also runs some other services as well. It's not really great at mining. It's not a very high power CPU, but it's really good at maintaining a blockchain. So if I run my own full node, then when I connect to the Bitcoin network from my phone or whatever, hey, we got Gundy stuff. What's up? Gundy's in the house. So when I connect to a Bitcoin full node from my phone, right, from my mobile wallet or from my desktop wallet, I don't have to worry about connecting to a different node. I can be syncing the full Bitcoin blockchain on my own. So I don't have to trust. I verify every time I'm running Bitcoin on my own. And I can be running Monero. I can't very easily be running Ethereum. That's a conversation for another time. It's a very difficult full node sync and run full time. It requires a lot of resources, but on something like this, I can run Bitcoin, I can run Monero, I can run Firo probably, and a few others that we mentioned tonight. Gosh, what else? There are a few other blockchains that I could sync and run entirely from this, and they're very good for that. Not so great for mining though. Good question. And Joe Surfer says, looks like that seed plate will rust. Yeah, I agree, right? You see the brushed finish right there? That would pick up rust right there. The high frequency lines that are actually engraved on the X and Y axis there, those will rust out too. As you know, like the more surface area you have, the more likely it is to rust once it hits some kind of humidity. So for my part, yeah, I'm looking at this and thinking, guys, you can probably do this on your own. And we can find different ways, right? I want to do a little series where we just talk about different ways to make your own seed phrase backup plates, and the different costs and the amount of time that it takes. I reviewed the one that came with this guy, the EliPal. They call it the Metal Mnemonic, and when I reviewed theirs, it took me about 30 minutes just to punch out the little letters and to get that set up there. It was kind of weird. Hey, and Crypto Mikkel is here as well. He knows. Right, with laser engravers and with 3D printers and stuff, that's another really great use for a Raspberry Pi, is you can run an entire 3D printer and you can run a laser engraver, or all of your machines like that require a little bit more modeling or a little bit of software to run them. You can run all that from a Raspberry Pi too, or use it as your daily driver for your desktop instead of a laptop, or instead of like a full gaming system if you wanted to go like lighter on your daily driver. They're really powerful, guys. About as powerful as any of the modern phones out there. But yeah, as far as seed plates goes, like you can go get flat bar from the hardware store. They'll chop it to size for you. And then when they do, get yourself a good, relatively heavy hammer, like a roofing hammer. And then this guy, and then boom, a couple of hits. And you've got a deep enough marking for each one of the letters that it's going to be fine. It's going to show up if you have a house fire. It's going to show up if you have a flood in the basement, or you have a pipe break or whatever. It's going to show up if you if it gets sprayed by some kind of like foreign chemical substance and has a bit of like an acidic burn to it, or the pH changes somehow rapidly because of an environmental shift or change. So yeah, I look at this and my first thought is like, yeah, we could probably do that on our own without spending whatever it is they're asking us to spend. Now let's see what they're asking. The seed plate, dude, there you go, $50. $50 for that. Guys, these right here, these cost 20. So if you got a buddy that wants to do it too, or family members that want to do it too, cut that cost in half, or just reuse it, resell it to them after you're done, right? If you know you're not going to use it anymore, but if you need to make more seed plates, then you've still got this, right? So your only cost is the flat bar from Lowe's, or from Home Depot, or from Ace, or for wherever you're going to buy it from, right? Or if you have another local hardware shop, better still, maybe if you have like a building supply where you can get flat bar like properly at cost, then that's your only cost. And then that, and like chopping it down, if you have your own angle grinder, you got that covered too, right? So I like that personally. I like that as an option, but your mileage may vary. That minivan says, get it done on a titanium plate. That's pretty cool, man. So yeah, a titanium plate isn't bad either, but you look at, so aluminum and titanium, even though they're non-ferrous metals, they because they're non-ferrous metals, they show up with metal detectors. Crazy, right? Steel is actually still one of the best things because it's common and it's considered junk metal. So if somebody were to like walk across your, let's just say, for example, you had a seed phrase plate. This is a bad example. Here's some galvanized, right? Like really, really flimsy stuff. This is like 1/32 of an inch, right? Really, really thin stuff. Let's just say you had but something like this, galvanized steel. You had a seed phrase punched into this, and then you had this buried under, say, like the bushes in front of your house, or like the roses or something in front of your house. If for whatever reason somebody was just curious, or deep in your backyard, somebody was just curious, you're on vacation, like, oh, you know what? That Nemesis guy, he's a Bitcoiner. I'm pretty sure he's got, like, I know him well enough, like, I could probably guess his OPSEC. He's probably got a metal seed phrase plate. Is the sort of thing, dude, like, that for us, we think through these war games, right? These scenarios. We think through these. So we got to think like our very worst, most wicked smart opponent, right? Somebody could be thinking like, yeah, Nemesis, he's a Bitcoiner, so he's probably got one of these seed phrase plates. It's buried somewhere in his backyard, and he's probably got it like vertically oriented, or like stuffed inside of like, I don't know, like an old like coffee can or something. That's probably how he's got it. If you were to use a metal detector, and that metal detector picks up on aluminum, guess what? It actually gives you a bigger signal, or a more pronounced signal from aluminum than it does from steel. Most metal detectors are tuned not to return like a big result, a big flashy result from specifically steel and ferrous metals, because they're just magnetic. So anyway. Yeah, so Zotrak says gold would maybe be as good as material. I mean, right? It'd be worth its weight in gold if you had the right amount of gold and gold appreciated at the right rate. That'd be funny. It says a small sheet of gold to have the words in gold. That would be, and what's funny is that now that we're thinking about it, there's probably somebody out there who's done it in like whatever, United Arab Emirates or something, right? Like you're right, Saudi Arabia. There's somebody out there who's crazy enough to have done that. They're like, you know what? My seed phrase is very valuable. Yes, I must engrave it in gold. It will be engraved in a bar of gold, so that when people find it, they know that it is valuable, and it is mine, and my wealth exceeds theirs. Sorry, that was Was that a little too good? That was bad. That was messed up, huh? That was a little too good, though, wasn't it? Yes, seed phrase in gold. So, but this $50, I don't think so, guys. I don't think it's worth it personally. That, to me, that price there is like, yeah, you may as well go buy gold. Jeez, for what it's worth, right? It's junk metal, it's sheet metal. I'm not going to pay $50 for it, or $100 for it, whatever. I'm going to pay $20 for a set of tools, right? That I can reuse, and then I'll go get junk metal, and I'll put whatever I need to on junk pieces of scrap, right? So anyway. That's my take on it, guys. Just my take on it. I don't think this is their best product. I really do think that their very best product is the cold card. There's nothing like it. There's nothing that does what it does offline, and especially the BIP39 addresses, the BIP44 addresses, the BIP85 addresses, guys. They're like being able to do what's called seed phrase generation and key pair derivation, or public key and private key derivation schemes based on the Bitcoin improvement proposals, BIP39, BIP44, BIP84, and BIP85. Those are the most relevant ones right now. Just to rattle some off, guys. I'm not like a deep expert on that topic. It's just like I'm familiar enough with it for this, that knowing that this guy does all those. I'm sorry. I've been looking at them, guys. I've been looking at all these wallets, right? All of them are junk. They're garbage by comparison. Just straight up. On that front, right? On generating seed phrases, there's nothing like the cold card at all. Nothing. Nothing does what it does. Anyway. Zotrak is trying to sell us on doing this on gold. He says a very thin sheet of gold doesn't cost much, I think. My stepbrother used this kind of thing for car decals. Well, if your stepbrother wants to send one to me for testing and evaluation, for the community, it's for the community. Have him send some of this gold to me, and I will engrave my seed phrase on gold, brother. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's nuts though. If you can do it, I mean, good for both of you. That's cool. But anyway, we've gotten a little bit off track here. Let's take a look at that Chia price after we evaluate our FPGA portfolio. It hasn't really done much since we looked at it last. Still down 43%. Yep, I remember we had to look at that. Chia price, here we are. It is going up. Last 24 hours have been the most exciting for it. But that has me a little bit worried. Zotrak, I may or may not be related to Peter Schiff. Well, why didn't you just open with that, Zotrak? Okay, in that case, yes. Send me a full bar of gold. And we'll engrave a seed phrase on it. I'll even give it back to Peter after I engrave a seed phrase on it. I'll be like, boop, boop, boop. Here you go, Pete. Don't change this bar of gold. You say gold is the best, but now it's even better than the best. It's gold and Bitcoin. Oh, right? So, got Crypto Mikkel getting ready to stream here, guys. And I'm coming up on about an hour and a half. Crypto Mikkel, gosh, what time are you going to go? Probably next 15 minutes. I'm going to try to dovetail things so we can raid you as well. See what we can do there. But yeah. But Chia, guys, looks like the last 24 hours have been the most exciting. Yep. The pumpening. The pumpening of the Chias. Ch-ch-ch-pump. Ooh. Yeah. There we go. So it's kind of finding support. There you go at about 265-ish. All right, yeah. So about 15 minutes. I'll see what I can do there, guys. I will raid you whether we stop right at the hour, or we go a little bit after the hour. We'll raid you guys. Okay. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do here. I'm supposed to fix something in the thing. Yeah, but we'll raid them anyway. So yep, seeing that it definitely went up, but it's not totally apparent why. We have increased trading volume, but I don't think that's unique to just that coin right now. Let's go to another side of our portfolio, and let's keep it super basic. Let's go to just Bitcoin right now, okay? So opening up Bitcoin's, well, on CoinGecko, Bitcoin's chart. And over the last 24 hours, everything is trading more volume. It's not as big a pump for Bitcoin in the volume, that lower line right here. See where my cursor is down here? That's where the volume goes up. And we see that lower number on the readout, how it's $28 billion to 29, all the way up to 34, peak of, I think, there you go, $37 billion. So it's up significantly, almost $10 billion of volume up. Everything is doing more volume right now, but Chia, let's see what it was doing before. Volume was at 38 million, and now it's at 80 million. Yeah, it's done more than double the volume in that time. I think interest in Chia is definitely going up a lot higher. It's definitely seeing more trading volume than anything else. Here's what has me concerned. Again, and this is why I had a bit of an issue before. Now, the founding team they've got their coins locked up. But the fact that they have them at all always makes a dude like me worried. Do they have a mixer? Do we know for sure that none of the funds from the founding team or from anybody related to them can be used at all? Because they're early whales, right, that have the incentive to go and wash trade right now. So when you see increased volume, that's not always necessarily a sign of increased trading. It's just a sign of increased volume, which could mean wash trading. So, I mean, I'm not going to FUD these guys. I don't know what the deal is. I'm just saying that everything is experiencing higher trading volume, but clearly Chia is experiencing significantly higher trading volume right now. So that's cool. Justin says, cold card, Bitcoin only. Yeah, unfortunately it is. What I'd love a device that actually, that allows for you to generate more wallets using the cold card. I've been thinking about it for a while, guys. I really have. I don't know what it would take. So as it is right now, I've got that de-Googled phone over in the store, and the de-Googled phone can run some tools offline that do that sort of thing, but that's not very secure once you put a SIM card in it or once it's connected to the internet. It needs to be totally offline, right? So that's where something like EliPal is so close, or these guys even. They're weird, but I think EliPal gets it a little bit closer with the EliPal Titan here, because you can run. I mean, it's very easy to compile code that runs on this. If you can write an Android application, which, like the majority of us here, we've created like start batch files, right? Like .bat files for mining on Windows, or bash scripts for mining on Linux. And if you can do that, you can probably make something run on Android, right? So I've been thinking about that, like something, maybe it's just a little like software suite. Maybe just write the app for you to just run on an old phone, like this guy, right? If Got an old Samsung phone here that's kind of like decommissioned for other stuff. So much stuff you can do with these as long as you know that they're offline. So maybe write a software suite that just lets you do all that stuff on an old decommissioned Android phone. We'll see, guys. So many cool ideas, right? Only 24 hours in a day, only one life to live. Gotta prioritize. So Bradley Fielder says there is a solar ETH BTC farm near my home, and I have 2.2 gigahash on ETH right now. 7 rigs, 30 series or 3000 series NVIDIA, but I might sign a 12-month contract at 8 cents per kilowatt hour plus a $50 hosting fee. Should I pay Compass Mining? Ooh, that's a tough one, Bradley. That's a tough one. So, yeah, I can't give you advice there, right? I can't give you advice per se. I will say that there's nothing quite like sovereign mining, holding your own gear. I've consulted with groups that sent, and they had larger facilities, right? But they ran out of power at the facility where I was helping. They had to send 500 rigs, 508 card RX 580 rigs out to another facility. They never saw them again. They couldn't get them out. They kept saying like, hey, we see that they're offline. Hey, we see that they're overheating. Hey, we got some downtime. Hey, we got a problem over here. And every time that they told them there was a problem, the margins were just too thin for that co-location company because they were so far away. That co-location company just gave them the runaround, and they could get away with it. Because it was like, oh, well, I guess if you want to send a technician out here, maybe you can. And they said, yeah, we'd like to do that. Can you tell us where your facility is? I said, oh, no, wait. But for OPSEC reasons, no, we can't do that. We can't tell you where we are. See the problem? Where it's like they were in a side of New York where they were worried about getting shut down if too many people came by. It just became really, really weird. Zotrack says 12 months on ETH is risky. Can you change the algo during the contract? Well, as I understand it, with Compass Mining, with some of the other co-locators, you have some remote access to your machines. But here's the thing. If you have a facility that's driving distance from you, if you have a facility that you can physically go and visit, you can definitely change the algorithms on the machines, right? Like especially, he's saying the NVIDIA 3000 series RTX cards. If you have physical possession of the cards, physical possession of the rigs, of course you can change the algorithms. If they're somewhere else and you need to do like a physical change, that's going to be a problem. Real News 2020, I think, says it best here. He says, host your own rig, be your own boss. I largely agree, man. If you can find a local co-locator that will physically let you set up your rigs, or somebody that's willing to work with you to get you that 5 cent power, cool. If not, what you're finding at 8 cents per kilowatt hour is not terrible. It's really not terrible. But 8 cents fully hosted would be better. Instead of them saying 8 cents plus 50 bucks a month. I don't know. I'd try to scratch that if I were you. But I would still be very, very cautious about putting them anywhere else that you don't fully control. Just my take on it. Ooh. Wow. Mark Allen asks the $50 million question. Mark Allen asks, I'm curious about Compass Mining. What would motivate them to sell hash? Wouldn't it be more profitable for them to mine their own? I'll just say it's a very small margin business, and Whit Gibbs seems like a pretty good dude. I think he probably means well, but you're right. It's a very difficult business to keep profitable. I don't know what would motivate them. I don't know exactly what motivates him right now. So no answer for you. Couldn't say. All right. So Chia, again, very interesting chart, guys. Because of what we're seeing here, I really... Ooh, come here now. ChiaCalculator.com. Let's take a look. There we go. So you remember me. Ooh, you want to see something awesome? Lock element. Pick. Go away. Ha ha ha. See ya. It's so messed up. You can tell I do a lot of screen recordings, right? Like, I hate seeing dumb ads. It's like, no, if I wanted to go see that, I would go see that. Stop. Go away. Let me see the calculator right now. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look real fast. Let's pretend like you're already fully plotted, so it doesn't really matter much there. Going to go to the advanced view. That's the only thing that matters. The initial space for the plots is go to Tibabytes, and by any of their name, guys. That's a tera binary byte. Just call it terabytes. You're probably fine. Let's go to our maximum amount allocated. Let's pretend like that's just 50 terabytes for right now, just because that's what you want to do. But 50 terabytes for right now. We're not going unlimited. Obviously, we're limiting it to 50 terabytes. We are going to, right now, the current net space is, oh, come on. I literally just saw it right there. Simplified. Yep, 30 exabytes, or 30 exabytes, 31. Let's pretend like it's exactly 31. Let's just pretend like it stayed at 31 right now. Network growth at negative 2% weekly? No, I don't think so. You guys don't get off that easy. No, you're going to stay at 0. Okay, so it doesn't look deflationary. That's fake. Let's pretend like this is at 0. Let's pretend like stabilization is at 0. Let's pretend like the stabilized growth is 0. So it's a flat line. Okay? These are the guys. This is slow pitch, underhand. I'm tossing it to you. It's got like a giant red bullseye on it. Like, okay, Tommy, can you hit it? All right, here we go. Making it as simple as possible, right? Nothing up my sleeves. One number that you've had already plotted. One number for the total network size. Looks like still after 6 months at current rates, you're looking at almost $690 at current rates, only at current rates. If you bought brand new stuff, even just the hard drives, right? So about 3 hard drives at, they say $520. That's not even a full system. Plotting hardware would cost more, but just the hard drives, you haven't even bought back your hard drives. These coins would absolutely have to go to $600 for you to just recoup your costs in 6 months. That's mining to a pool. Let's go to 1 year. It should just double your rewards, right? So if you go for a year, great. But here's the problem. We're not at $600. We're at $272. If we don't get to $600 and use that as support, if we don't stay at $600 as support, then this is what you've actually earned over a year, leaving your hard drives running, paying for power. So that hasn't even been considered yet. And I realize it's not a whole lot, but between 3 hard drives running 24/7 actively to monitor, to ping those drives, it's not nothing. I'm just going to put it that way. It's not nothing. There is a material cost. So over a year, that could be $30. That could be $50. There's no way it's going to be 100. I'll put it that way. But it can be something, right? It's not nothing. People who pretend like hard drives don't consume any electricity. It's like, dude, look, why do you think we all went to SSDs? Because hard drives consume electricity more, right? They consume more than your SSDs. So, yeah. So if we stay at that level, even if we go up to 350, right? You've barely broken even after a year and gotten ahead of the cost for power. You just broke even. You made 0 profit, right? Willy Wonka, you win nothing. Good day, sir. Yeah, guys, this is why I like going to the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Moon boys do. Opium does. Don't smoke it. It's bad for your health. So, yeah, you'd have to see a massive resurgence in value, or you'd have to see when we finally do see extremely positive price action for Bitcoin, like fingers crossed, right, guys? If we see Bitcoin do like $80,000, if we see Bitcoin do $100,000, if we see it do $130,000 or whatever, it'd be amazing, right? And if we do, and then we see this coin go up to like, nope, that didn't mean that. I meant all the way back up to its all-time high, $1,600 per coin. Let's get back into the same time frame where we can actually expect that to happen before the end of the year. So maybe 6 months, right? Then, yes, you're seeing something along these lines, but you have to sell off to realize those profits. If you don't, right, if you don't sell off to lock in those profits, then those same coins, you ride them back down to whatever the all-time low is. And now we know the all-time low is far below $200. We've seen it go all the way down to 178, even 175. If we go to 175 and you ride that all the way down, which let's be real, most people do, right? We're not special exceptions. Unless we take action, most of us as miners, we default to hodling. It feels comfortable. It feels like it's supposed to be a safe bet. It feels like DCA and hodl is the only thing we have to do. But then when you pair that with something like this requires action. This requires you to be on your toes. You gotta juke, you gotta move, you gotta duck, you gotta bob, you gotta weave. If you don't, you get your effing head blown off, right? You get your effing head knocked off by the market. You cannot hodl this. You can't do it. And that's what I've been saying the whole time. And people laughed at me when it was up at $1,600. And then they laughed when it was down at $800, still saying like I'm being a hater. And then they laughed when it was $600. And I told them, nope, it can go lower. And then they laughed when it was $300. And now they're laughing, thinking that they're being justified because it's barely edging its way back to $300, down from $1,600. Be smart. That's all I'm saying. I want you to win, but be smart about it. You can't win at this game just by hodling. Real talk. Now, that said, if you already have these coins, if you've already been in for a while and you've already locked in your losses because you've already ridden it down to the bottom and then you're starting to climb back up. Look, I feel for you. That happens to some of us. I've still got a Raven coin bag that I should have sold when Raven was trading at over 1,000 Satoshis per coin. Like I would have held on to some, of course, but I've got plenty of Raven coin that I would have gladly sold at 1,000 Satoshis had I just been thinking clearly about the fact that its value against Bitcoin was never going to get better, right? I think it did like all-time high. We can look it up on CoinGecko. So all-time high for Raven coin. Show me your all-time high. There we go. All-time high was 28 cents at February 20th. Gosh darn it. Why is it not showing us our Satoshi value? Are you serious right now? Okay. So it's Satoshi value. Let's go maximum. Zoom all the way out. Yep, it's Satoshi value. It came all the way up to above 1,500 Satoshis. It came to 1,525 Satoshis back in March of 2019. And I remember seeing it cross 1,000 and thinking, oh man, we've got this little window here. See that? About the 20th of March all the way to the 24th of April. We had a month, over a month to think about selling those Raven coins at over 1,000 Satoshis. Never previously, right? Never before and never again. That ship sailed. If it ever, like against Bitcoin, if it ever does that again, I'll be shocked. I'll be gobsmacked. Seriously, I will drive directly to Tron Black's house, bang on his front door, give him a high five, and kiss him full on the mouth. Seriously, if he can make that happen to my Raven coin bag, I'll be ecstatic. But I don't see it happening. So everybody who's saying, like, no, but you don't understand, Seth. Chia is different. I wonder. Yeah. These are your realities, guys. I love you to pieces. People who are holding right now with Chia, people who are still like trying to discover block rewards with Chia, great. I'm not going to tell you to stop. You keep doing what you're doing, especially if you're seeing returns, especially if you're getting to that break-even point. You got to do it, right? You could always cut bait. You could sell equipment. You might be able to recoup some of that. But here's the other thing. Because of the rush on hard drives, because of the rush on NVMe drives, because of the rush on SSDs, you overbought. Yeah, you over-leveraged into hardware. Some of you paid a 20% or a 50% premium on hardware. I tried to warn you. So I love you guys. I don't like the direction this went because people asking about Chia and talking like Moon Boy talk. I mean, I love you guys. I really do. But I don't want to have to like bust out the reality stick and bang you over the head with it again, right? Donk, right? The no horned Chia stick. Don't be horned for Chia. Please stop it. All right. Real News 2020 asks about another one. Hey, Cryptid Youth says, I got a 20 terabyte and not a dime more. Heck yes, brother. That's the way to do it, right? You can actually use that after the fact too, right? Like a 20 terabyte drive, you can put all your personal files on that. You can throw like whatever, like put whatever legally acquired movie files you have for, for the TV or whatever, for your streaming box. Like, I get that. I totally get that. You didn't go too far out of your way. I mean, I've got a couple servers over here. One of them I did get for Chia because I was like, you know what, it'll be a good plotting drive, but I could also use it as a VM host. I can use it for so many other things too, like my own personal file server. So that's more of a science project that I wanted to get entirely. I didn't overbuy. I'll put it that way. I was happy to spend what I spent on that, and I'm perfectly happy to leave it, like, at this point, not mining Chia, right? Like, it could do nothing for the Chia network, and I'd be happy with the purchase that I made there. But yeah, I'm seeing way too many people who are like, oh yeah, I got 150 terabytes of hard drives, or I've got, at this point, I'm at almost a petabyte of hard drives. Like, yikes. Oh, hey, Tayward is asking about the price per terabyte. Oh, there you go. Sure. That, I guess, whatever. $20 per terabyte? That's considered a deal? Again, guys, you're not disproving my point. Oh my gosh. Way to swoop in and save defeat from the jaws of victory. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, not good. Not good. That's not a good price. Okay. Oh my, y'all need to stop talking about this. Y'all need to get me to stop talking about this, because I'm gonna do something crazy. Really, it's out of love. It's out of love. But this is crazy talk. No, those aren't good prices. No, they're not. They're not. 5 terabytes for $100? That's not a good price. It's just not. Especially not when you're talking about buying something that is meant to return on investment, right? Like, you got to keep your liabilities low, got to keep your CapEx low, and then you got to try to recoup it as fast as possible. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I love you guys. I say it with love. I want to see you win. That's the thing. I want to see you win. It's tough love. It's tough love, right? Like, I talk to my own son this way too, like, where he's like, Dad, why are you such an a-hole? Because seriously, like, everything's like so touchy-feely now, and kids are like totally wrapped in cotton wool or whatever, and like have to tell you exactly what they feel, and have to tell you like whether or not they prefer to be scolded by their own parents nowadays. But no, like, just real talk. Same way. You done effed up, son. If you think that $20 a terabyte is good, you done effed up. So here we go. Yeah, I don't see good news here. I don't see good news here until all of your holdings come up above $600 for sure. And even then, you're barely breaking even in the next 6 months. And even then, it's only if you liquidate. Because if you stay in unrealized gains and say like, yeah, $600, we will return to a bear market. Let me repeat it. That's been my messaging for a while. We will return to low profits. We will return to low coin prices. Not today. Today, we're riding high. We're feeling good. Not today. But at some point in your future, in your lifetime, you will see lower coin prices. And that will affect Chia too. So, as you see coin prices go up, unless you're willing to somehow lock in profits, it's a loser's game. Hodling is a loser's game. Cryptid Youth has got it right. As he won block rewards, he's tried to liquidate at reasonable times. Not everybody has. Some people have held, and some people have done really well, right? Some people have like won multiple blocks, have like whatever, 12 coins or whatever. And they've hodled all those 12 coins all the way down to the bottom. Like, they rode them like whatever, like a merry-go-round, little kitty roller coaster all the way down off that steep drop down to hell. Right? Like, no! Don't be that guy. So just don't, that's all I'm saying. Don't be that guy. Be smart, take profits when you have to, right? Take profits when you have to, sell equipment. It's okay to cut bait. It's okay to change. That's okay, especially if you're the small to mid scale. Now, if you're achieving scale because you have access to it or whatever, great. Or if you have access to cloud infrastructure where it's like, all right, totally, I got this, I got over there, I got whatever. I've got this, petabytes of storage over here. I've got like whatever. I'm a developer, or I ran a startup, and so I've got cloud credits. Fine, do it, right? Use every advantage that you have. I'm not saying not to be smart and use every advantage that you have, but what I am saying is that if you are relatively risk averse, if you don't have $5,000 to lose on new gear, don't spend $5,000 on new gear, right? Or let alone $35,000 or $50,000 on new gear. Just don't go blowing it on this stuff, because you're going to see this. It's worse than impermanent loss in DeFi, almost. Impermanent loss in DeFi, didn't require you to spend fiat money on hardware that also became devaluated at the same time. So just throwing that out there, guys. I know that was really, really stern. Here's the thing. Shh. No, wait. Here's the thing. I love you guys. Don't make it weird. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Whoop, chopsticks. There they are. Chopsticks. And I've got, gosh, what do I have done here? Got the MACD going down here. So MACD is our moving average convergence divergence. And specifically, it's the 12 and 28 day that we have here. Is that what it is? I think it's the 12 and the 26 day that we have for that. But we already have the 50 day and the 200 day moving average up in this channel. And that's something I'm comfortable with. I want to start learning MACD and RSI. I just want you guys to know that that's a target for me, is to learn about how to make sense of RSI and MACD on this chart. So let me check in with our live comments, make sure that nobody's like, this guy's an a-hole, I'm out of here. I mean, there's a risk, right? Always a risk. Somebody's like, yeah, it's okay. Good feeling, gone. I'm never coming back here. Let's jump back up. Ooh, we got a lot coming in. Real News says it's hard to know what coins to hodl and what coins to secure profits on. When mining, some coins you mine will 10x, some will dip by 90%. Yeah, it's true. It's really hard to know. Here's the thing. I gave data, guys. I gave data points, and I talked about it in no uncertain terms with this coin. With this coin, I did. So I just want to make that clear. I'm not talking about just any project. We're talking about this project. Let's keep the main thing. And this one, we saw it dip, and now everyone's coming back to be like, you see, we're validated. And it's like, no, you're not. Not yet. I mean, good luck. I hope it goes your way. But you're not vindicated yet. It's still a crap proposition for you. So don't come back at me like, all right, but the coin actually became a little bit positive again. Like, all right, cool. Even, whatever. Like, let me show you something really pathetic. Even Police Doge came up today. Yep, it's up 12%. Good job, Police Doge. You're in good company. Right there with Police Doge. You know Police Doge, don't you? Oh, you don't? Yep, nobody does. It's a good market. It's a bull market, guys. Overall, when you zoom way out, we're still in the middle of a bull market. Yeah, we moved sideways for a long time, but these are bullish sentiments for the most part, even with the fear and greed index moving towards fear. We've been in the midst of a bull market, really, with elevated values, elevated volume, elevated interest, elevated number of wallets using all the coins. Everything's bigger right now. And the losses too, right, of people trading with leverage and all that. The point is, like we were talking about, this coin, not Police Doge. We were talking about this coin, not something else that just launched. We're talking about this coin. And I've been telling you about it for months now, right? So, and I'm not shocked to see that it's kind of still performing the way it's been performing. Again, disclaimer, Bram's a brilliant guy. He's got tens of millions of dollars of investor money. He's going to find a way to make the network work with or without you or me contributing on the relatively small end, because he wants AWS, GCP, Azure, IBM, all the rest, all of those big players. He wants their leftover storage space. That's what he wants. So he's going to make that work. He's got tens of millions of dollars to make it work and plenty of marketing budget to try to go grease palms there. He's got plenty of people who are extremely intelligent, who know how to plot those kinds of drives at scale. So exabytes and exabytes of storage that are available over there. I strongly believe that's the direction he's going to go. And for that reason, he kind of lost me ideologically, because it's like, all right, well, it's enterprise blockchain. Do you want enterprise people? What's in it for me? Even as a participant, what's in it for me? Okay, proof of work on hard drives that big data centers are running. I already don't trust Google. Why would I trust them with your blockchain? And if they're running your blockchain, why would I trust you? See, I feel like I'm on a little bit of a, yeah, ideologically for me, it doesn't feel very difficult to just say, yep, I'm just dismissing this for now. I don't want to really think about it very much. Anyway, going back to the comments section, Zotrak is saying, yes, calling the top is impossible. You're right. Calling the top is impossible. There's a lot of luck on my part in seeing that there was the possibility of just not going up any further. And then it didn't go up any further. And then I was like, okay, we'll see. It looks like we're in a correction. And it was a massive correction. Chia, like the market corrected, Chia dumped. It didn't correct, it dumped. There's a difference. It went way down, right? Would you go from 1600 all the way down? I'm sorry. Let me get to our all-time high here. Yep. When you go to 1645 all the way down to 162, that's a 90% dump. That's a dump. That's not a correction. Nothing else did 90% down in that market move. So that's a dump. Huge difference. But going back into our comment section, guys. That minivan, wishful thinking, saying, Chia is going to be $1 in 15 years. Okay, don't hold your breath. He says he got me mining helium. I know to cash in on that one. Yeah, for sure. If you're profitable on helium and you're getting far enough ahead to pay off your equipment, cash out. It's not a hold. But I've got some ideological problems with helium too. I do. Just Internet of Things, connected devices. It's a huge problem, guys. If you saw my video on ADT, the employee at ADT that is doing time for adding his email address to people's accounts and then peering in on their video cameras. I'm not a big fan of IoT stuff. I think it's just very wrong-headed. Good grief, I use a de-Googled phone. I don't even actually use an iPhone or a regular Google phone for my daily driver. I maybe have some trust issues, maybe some paranoia issues there, but not paranoia. It's not full-blown paranoia. I mean, realistically, just because you're paranoid does not mean that they are not out to get you, because they are. So, yeah, I don't even like having my phones run stock software. I don't have an Alexa by Amazon. I do not have any one of these Siri-enabled devices. I never use Siri. I never use voice search. I don't use the Google Home. None of those smart speakers. Those are just like those are surveillance apparatus that you install in your own home. It's a wiretap that comes with a user's manual for you to help the people surveilling you. Nah, man. The Internet of Things is it's not my favorite thing. Helium just enables that spy network. So I'm not a big fan of that either. I know. Boo-hoo, Seth's being a downer, but those are my thoughts on that. I've had other projects reach out to me too to ask me to advertise some of the competing networks. And I'm just not a big fan. I basically told them to get lost. See, Casual Mining says the Chia Pet and its edible afro will be $1 in 15 years. You know what? That I could almost see, because seeds actually have real-world utility. If you save them, you can plant them later. May even be able to eat them, right? You cut off the top of the chia, you blend it into wheatgrass juice. So, let's see. Zotrak said, I never wanted a chia because I never had enough hard drive memory. Going down the... Guys, I apologize. I'm trying to catch up on comments here to make sure I got this right. Cryptid Youth says, I made so much on Chia, but I was early. Don't do it now. I agree, man. I think we chatted about that, too, in some of the comments. Like, seriously, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. That's amazing. Because there are some people who just did phenomenally well, made out like bandits, and got some of those early Chia profits while it was still reaching up to all-time high. That's awesome. When you can make that work, it's amazing. Casual Mining accusing me of being too much like Jordan Peterson, I guess, saying clean your room, bucko. Kyle Rosa says dead chains, rug pulls, exit scams, etc., etc. Yes, man, we see it all over the place. It's part of the risk. It's part of the cost of doing business. I know that too. It just happens. And Cryptid Youth says I only hodl coins that have a use case. Cryptid Youth or Minivan, make plots on school computers or servers at work. You'd be saving. Yeah, but by that token, mine Monero on those computers too. Oh, right. You will be violating computer hacking laws in either case. Yikes. And Real News 2020 says, back in 2017, everything with a use case lost 95% in value. Yeah, it's true. There was a huge correction there too. It's got to be real. Listen to Daddy when he pulls the belt. Beat him with a stick. Pain works. Chia, the green crypto. Ethereum 2.0 will be green too. That's true. And that's what Cardano says. That's what Polkadot says. That's what Solana says. That's what now Pulse Chain coming out is saying too. right? All these projects and all these networks that run entirely on like limited delegated validator nodes, right? Delegated proof of stake or whatever. Like, geez, there's never been a better time to air quotes make your project green, and you don't even need hard drives for it anymore. Zotrak, there's ways to lose money in a bull market. Yeah, totally. Always. In fact, there are more ways to lose money in a bull market than in a bear market. Straight up. Because if anything's alive in a bear market, a prolonged bear market, and you invest into anything that's actually building whatever and they're not dead, well, when we go back to a bull market, you've doubled your money, at least. That's in the worst case scenario. Sometimes you're doing far better than that, right? So bull markets are, yeah, where people's portfolios go to die. That minivan says trust, privacy, and green is the future. Yeah, see, I'm not familiar with what Chia is saying will be their privacy layer, but I'd have to take a look at that to see even what they're saying. All right, guys, right now, if Ethereum went to proof of stake right now, if it was able to successfully transition to proof of stake today, it's already got Tornado Cash, right? So ZK Snark enabled privacy. It's got all the privacy that Zcash has, and none of the weird developer payout that Zcash has, and none of the terrible price action that Zcash has, and none of, the founder reward nonsense and the stench of early VC funding that Zcash has, and then all of DeFi running on top of it. Right. Okay, so you can do all of what DeFi does, liquidity provision, yield farming, et cetera, and then pull your coins out, and then still have privacy on Ethereum. It's not perfect, guys. There's a lot about Ethereum that's broken. I'm going to do a video about that very, very soon. I've actually got it lined up. I've got it scripted. I can go over it very, very soon. It's more than what we can do in just this, like in this format. So Ethereum's not perfect, but it has privacy already. I don't know what Chia is going to add to that, other than like copying all of the Solidity-based code and smart contracts that Ethereum already has, that Ethereum already pioneered. So there's that. Real News 2020 says, at least Helium does something unique, trying to take on Amazon's Sidewalk. Yeah, it is unique. It is unique. I'm not convinced that Internet of Things or that IoT connection is really a positive thing for humanity. I'll put it that way. So the ideological pull in me is to go away from connecting more things in people's homes. Like, this is already enough of a compromise. Everything you need is already at your fingertips. It's all there. All of it. It's all there. So yeah, I'm like, a little bit concerned about that. Mark Allen says, put all of your IoT devices on a separate VLAN. Well, here's the thing. Putting them on a separate VLAN may not be enough. So that'll give you a different IP address, but your IoT devices, anything that has a microphone or a camera, and now there's an increasing number of devices that do, they can surveil you regardless. So as soon as you've registered something and it is in any way positively correlated with you, your IP address is not the problem, if that makes sense. The spyware goes, and the spyware stack goes so much deeper than that. So yeah, I'm not huge there. I'm not really big on that. Muritala brings up a very good point. Says farming 1 petabyte consumes about 1,200 watts of electricity. I've got a GPU miner. I've got one of my Ethereum rigs that consumes less than that. It's at about, on a good day, when it's running really lean, it's drawing about 950 watts. So, yeah. And I've known how to plan for my Ethereum payouts for months. I've said that to people very frankly in the comment section about the Chia videos. So, yeah. That minivan says, I'm not a Chia fan. Seems that buying hard drives is cheaper than buying GPU rigs and low power bill gets the power bill gets salty. Well, yeah, I don't know that's true either, right? So if you're comfortable enough, if you're not comfortable, I should say, with rig building, right, of PC building, then yeah, if you're a fairly non-technical person, then you can make a Chia rig. You can just plug USB hard drives into a USB hub on something, and maybe it's a fast enough computer that you can just make that work and have it plot slowly, right, just on the hard drives themselves, not even using an NVMe. So you could do that and have them all plot in parallel at that. If you had a strong enough processor and enough RAM, you could just have 10 hard drives going simultaneously and have them all plotted to simultaneously, so your plot rate goes a little bit higher. kind of like lazy plotting without and not being wasteful by burning through NVMEs. So that's true. That could happen. You could do that. That would be less technical. But again, even at that rate, your plotting rate would be so low, you wouldn't be competitive. You would be outperformed by everybody else on the network, and it just wouldn't be worth your time. So anyway, and so that may, I'm not referring to you personally, just a person. A person might not be very inclined to build rigs. And so yeah, hard drives could be easier for a non-technical person in that way. But for somebody who is familiar with building rigs, clearing out dust on PCs, clearing out dust on fans, making sure that things are running correctly, it's no better or worse than the spinning platter lottery, right? Or like the MTBF, right? The mean time before failure of hard drives, right? Hard drives can fail after 6 months sometimes, and you don't know why. Or they can fail after 10 years sometimes, and you don't know why. They're like a little black box. It's hard to know for sure. And GPUs, you can actually troubleshoot them, right? You can reflow them. You can reball them if you know how to do that, right? You can actually upgrade memory chips. You can clean them. You can apply new thermal paste. There's so many troubleshooting steps that you can do on a hard drive that if you have that skill set, you can do it. Almost nobody who knows how to do that stuff can fully take apart a hard drive and make a hard drive work again. That's a very deep skill set that very few people have. I have yet to meet anybody who worked very heavily in IT who could do all the other stuff I said, reflowing or reballing chips on like a GPU. I've never heard them say like, oh yeah, totally, I reconditioned that hard drive. I just, I swapped out those platters and I got it running again. Oh, I recovered all that partially burned, like platter data. I don't know people who do that. It's a rare skill. That minivan is saying he thinks that helium is the most profitable right now. It might be. I don't know. I'll take a look at it. It hasn't been, no testing and evaluation models have been offered to me. I'm not going to go out of my way to buy it right now. It's just not an expense that I want to do, like brand new mining hardware for helium. Also, their fulfillment was weeks late before. So I was very worried about anybody being like, oh yeah, we should go buy some. We'll do a bulk buy together. And I'm like, no, please, nobody say that, because I don't want to hold your money. And I don't want to, be in hot water when they don't fulfill. So, yeah, that could be true, but I wouldn't know. And I'm not really going to spend much more time on that. All right, guys. So, all caught up on comments. Let's go back over to our chart. BTC USD, and I apologize because I told the DCA guys that we would try to go raid them pretty soon. We should do that pretty soon. But here we are on the chart. Looks like we've got a little bit more time on the chart so we can see. Let me kill that RSI indicator, or kill that MACD indicator. So we get more of this. Just see the volume. And again, you guys have my commitment. I'm going to be learning RSI. I'm going to be learning MACD, how to make a little more sense of it. Not because I'm turning into like a technical analysis channel, but just because I want to know, right? I want to be a more well-rounded human being. And when I look at charts, not feel helpless and, and illiterate, right? Of course, right. We all want to be more literate. So looking at the chart, we are at 42.1. Yeah, guys, maybe the little clickbaity title for tonight's stream, maybe it was totally accurate. Maybe we do see 42K as support. I think we need to see a little bit more for that to definitely be the case. What I want to do is create another ascending triangle here from these tops here and from these bottoms here. So I'm going to draw some new chopsticks. We're getting rid of our old chopsticks because they no longer serve us. So I'm going to highlight that. Just click the delete button. TradingView is very easy to use. I think I've got a little link down below. If not, it's just tradingview.myb.lol. That should be the way that I have links structured, such that you can sign up. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to use the basic tools that you see me using right now. Right? This costs nothing. So you can go there and sign up for a free account if you want to. You don't have to. You can use a fake email if you want to. Whatever. You don't have to give me your info. But just to get started, you can do that. You can set up charts like this. Looks like that 50-day is still moving up with a little bit of a curve back down, but the trend is still positive there. And the 200-day, more importantly, is also moving up. We definitely see that. Real News 2020 chimes in and says, needs to hit the moving average at 44K. Interesting. So I keep seeing Crypto Wendio talk about 42 being the support level that will help us, that if we lock it in, we're good. That said, I know that she uses some fib levels, and I don't know what her extension points were, or what movement she was setting her fib levels at, or what else she had in mind when she mentioned 42 being kind of the support level that we needed to see. Again, guys, I'm not a technical analyst. Just know that. I'm just trying to learn the vocab. I'm trying to learn the lingo and not be, a dum-dum when I look at the chart. That said, more chopsticks. Haha! I even ate some ramen in preparation for this episode, just so I'd be ready to make chopsticks. Alrighty. Come here. And got a line. Oh, nope. Let go. And I'm going to make another one, and we will dial these in just a minute here. I don't think that's quite accurate right there. But we've got 2 lines now, and we can dial those in moving forward. Ooh, you know what? We can do this thing, like I could be like Inigo Montoya. I can just close my eyes and you guys guide me where to put them, okay? Like, just, where does it go? Chopstick 1. Actually, I should probably dial it in a little more. But this actually doesn't look like an ascending triangle. It looks like just kind of a wedge. Because we wicked way up to there. I don't even know if that is the right thing to draw, right? Like I want to put something here though, so that we can come back to it. And I'll just we'll keep the chopstick theme for now, but we're going to get smarter with some other indicators as well. Zotrack Trade Analysis Simulator. Yeah, it's not fun. And it's not fun in games till somebody's eye gets poked out by the Trading Analysis Simulator. Whoa, flying chopsticks. So yeah. The nice thing about these chopsticks is I can't poke my eye out and I can't poke your eye out. So at least we got that going for us, right? The live stream has the live attendance has decreased. They're like, this guy, all he does is make jokes for an hour. Yeah. So going back, gonna take our bottoms right here from this little move right here after we jumped up right there. I think we have to discount anything that came before. So we can draw an uptrend there. And I'm going to go to the bottom of the, just like with the fibs, I'm going to go to the bottom of the candlestick, and I'm not going to go to the bottom of the wick right there. I'm going to anchor to those. And on this one, I'm not going to get over precious about this either, guys. Yeah, this makes no sense. This is not appropriate at all. This is totally not appropriate. I mean, you can just see right now. It's just painfully obvious to me. This is not the appropriate thing to do. So, yes, sorry, guys. Trade Analysis Simulator is way off. The chopsticks, we killed the patient. He's dead, Jim. Sorry. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're done. This chart, this is about as much chopstick as we can apply. Not enough noodles. And way too many chopsticks. So yeah, two chopsticks too many, I think, tonight. We do have a nice clean move though for us to anchor a fib-based extension fib-based extension. So we could do that. You guys want to see me throw a fib-based extension on there? I don't know if this is appropriate, but we do have some formations where we've got an up and a down and an up and down again, so we can attach that. I think what I'm going to do instead is just urge you guys, let's go raid DCA right now. Let's call it a night tonight. I'll come back tomorrow night. We're going to have a great time taking a look at this. I'm going to do more homework on my RSI, MACD, make sure that I have those as overlays to make a little more sense of some of those. Real News 2020 says, LOL, it's okay. Chart says hold. Yeah, man, right? I'm not doing anything. I'm not making any sudden moves with my Bitcoin right now. But I am trying to pay attention to this chart so that I get a little more educated and maybe just a little bit less, a little smarter every day, right, on how this thing works. So guys, appreciate you being here. Thanks for hitting that likes, the like, right, thumbs up. Thanks for sharing this. Thanks for being subscribed if you're not, and thank you for following me over to DCA Adventure. They're live streaming right now. I don't have a way to redirect you for a proper raid just yet. Let me see if I can actually fix that first though, because I may be able to edit that right now, so I know that we're definitely ready to raid them. Let me just double check on my settings. I'm moving at the speed of YouTube right now. There we go. Yep, nice. Haha. So I can select. You know what's funny is that it only lets me redirect to my videos, I think. Yeah, sorry guys, it's only gonna let me redirect to my video, so I'm gonna just go ahead and call it a night, guys. Thanks for being subscribed. Really appreciate you being here. This thing is still, wow, it is still doing that thing. Unfortunately, it's not gonna let me do that like the raid as I want to yet. Then again, you guys have noticed that when it comes to like what should be a painfully obvious UI on the web, it's like, oh, that's hidden in plain sight. Obviously, I couldn't see it. It's just right there in plain English. But guys, you know I love your face. Remember to stay private, mind your biz, and go hit up DCA Adventure right now. You're gonna have to, yeah, search for it. Let's go raid them all. Let's go give them plenty of mind your biz love. I love your face. See you next time.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you want to be notified of videos like this in the future, first off, click subscribe, press the bell icon. Additionally, you can sign up for the Mind Your Biz email newsletter. That'll give you exclusive access to certain freebies, notifications for deals within the cryptocurrency mining space, as well as some of our flash sales for merchandise, which you can buy with cryptocurrency. That's right. It's the only cryptocurrency merch that you can buy with cryptocurrency. We practice what we preach. As always, thank you so much for watching. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.